Every second, the world changes, markets rise, leaders speak, stories unfold. To keep up, you don't just need news, you need clarity, you need speed, you need perspective.
That's why Aneke TV brings you the global pulse. Accurate, reliable, right when it matters most. Aneke TV. Move with the world.
Need ad replacements, coverage for events, or the latest news stories? Call 070-3043-7110 right now. And Aneke TV, move with the world.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Sports Wrap this morning here on Aneke TV. I am doing this today with one and only Worldwide. Worldwide, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Extension of a handshake is not bad for sportsmanship.
Yeah, of course.
How are you doing? How's it been?
Well, I've been
I
okay.
mean, like yesterday, did you see the matches that was played yesterday?
Yes.
All right.
At least my former club won.
Oh,
I'm happy for them.
You are happy for them?
Yes.
While your original club did not win?
No, my original club, they played well, even though it was a draw.
Okay.
At least I was happy that my opponents did not laugh at me.
All right.
They were planning to laugh at me. So I was okay with that draw.
You were okay?
Yes. Instead
because
of
the conditions around it, and also adding the fact that it's an away match. So
it's an away match, and we had so much at stake. Most people were saying we had a fan that wanted to barb his hair.
The guy should just go and barb his hair.
That is not our responsibility. If he does not want to barb his hair, he should leave it.
If he doesn't want to barb his hair,
that's not even our problem.
It's not a problem.
Imagine someone saying if we win 7 matches, he will go and get married. Then you're expecting Manu to win 7 matches for you, as if that's our problem. So it's not. We don't even care about it.
I actually think if someone wants, that guy, that if Manu plays 5 matches in a row and wins 5 matches in a row, that Manu will buy him a clipper, and then we'll clip his hair off. Because if it's me, I will send Michael Carrick to barb that guy, and that guy is Molo. Is Molo, I will barb.
No, of course it will be skin.
Skin.
Shining.
I will shine it. If I barb, I will do it like this, because he needs to really know that.
Like Carrick is not even aware of it. It was the last game. I think that before the West Ham game, that he was aware that there is somebody like this that wants to barb his hair after.
Well, it does happen, and everybody has to, find their way. So, moving on just into the world of sports, you saw how Liverpool won yesterday, and it was Van Dijk who, scored the goal. Now, let's talk about Van Dijk a little, and him being in the Liverpool setting, what he has actually done for Liverpool. Earlier he was being dragged around as someone who has the likes of Pirlo, Pirlo, that he is one of the best defenders in the world. There was a time he was one of the best defenders in the world.
Even up to now, he's still counted as part of, if you mention top,
part of his,
in this sets now, in this generation.
Van Dijk, of course, when we're talking about Van Dijk, okay, let's talk about his performance for the past 3 to 4 games. Yes.
Well, he has been, when we started, or when Liverpool started, he was not having a good performance. That was when there was many speculation if he's going to stay or if he's going to leave. But as time goes on, you are seeing the Van Dijk that we used to know.
Okay.
Yesterday, he had to be the one to come and score the goal, where there are likes of Mo Salah the likes of Ekitike, Gapo. But in all, we always say their players have their good times and their bad times. So I would just say he was having a bad season then. But now he's coming up gradually. He's still trying. And in the Premier League now, I will still rate him top 5. Because funny enough, there are not much defenders that I will now say he's ahead of Van Dijk now. So he's still
well let's talk about the defenders let's talk about the defenders in the Premier League.
Okay.
We're talking about people who have, actually cleared their path to come back and do something. Now, even when we're talking about defenders, we may not compare people basically, but let's talk about Harry Maguire.
Yes.
Harry Maguire is a block right now.
Yes.
You remember Harry Maguire of Leicester City is back to Manchester United.
Yes.
He was a block in Leicester City when he was playing for Leicester City.
I agree with you.
And Manchester United signed him for 80 million euros.
Yes.
Immediately they signed him. As he signed the contract, he lost his confidence.
It's like the money was too much for him.
That kind of a thing. He lost his confidence immediately. And then guess what happened? What happened was he came back. During that time, he'll be scoring own goals.
And it took a lot of, in fact, years for him to come back.
And
years.
And let's talk about football as a quality and footballing as a character. Yeah. Now, footballing as a quality and character. Looking at how Maguire was thrown, he was stripped of his captain armband. He was stripped of his position as the captain of the team. And that should have affected his morale. That should have affected
It affected him.
Yes.
But he never gave up.
He never
even said he's not going anywhere. He's going to fight for his spot.
And guess what? He fought for it. And he's
back.
And he's back.
That's the morale. That's the quality a player should possess. Not players like Garnacho. You see Garnacho, when they would retire him to the bench, you start grumbling. You are not fit to play. On a normal condition, Garnacho is not supposed to be in Man U or Chelsea. He doesn't have any business in that club. Should be Sunderland. In fact, Sunderland is
you should play for.
It's too big. Coventry, yeah. I think that's the club.
Go to Coventry.
But you see him,
Grimsby.
Like coming on social media before, what did he say against Man U? That he said if Man U could beat, I've forgotten the club, Man City. Oh no, Arsenal. If Man U could beat Arsenal, then Chelsea can do the same. This is Arsenal that you have not beaten for, I don't know whether it's a decade now or something. You have not beaten them. You are coming, that as a player that is not even good, you are not the one. If it's Palmer that is saying that thing, or James, I would even say, okay, this person is a bit good, but not somebody like Garnacho coming to say if Man U can beat Arsenal, then Chelsea can do the same.
All right, look at it. Let's talk about what is really happening, what is trending right now in the world of sports, especially in football. Now, you know that coaches are being laid off, and new coaches are coming in. This thing started late December, late last year, when Chelsea's coach Enzo Maresca was laid off. Now, just yesterday, 2 coaches were laid off. Early this morning and yesterday, 2 coaches has been laid off from Tottenham and Nottingham Forest. Both of them even sound alike. Now, Thomas Frank, thank you very much, Fabrizio Romano, for getting the graphics. Now, Thomas Frank yesterday was laid off, and it was a game over. He has played. He has 29 points, and we're talking about he's in the 16th position of the league, and then Nottingham Forest too. They are just below by 17th. And you're looking at West Ham, you're looking at Burnley, you're now looking at Wolves. So West Ham, Burnley, and Wolves are going for relegation if they don't fight them. Because who do they think that will come and be there for them? I don't know if you get. But now, let's talk about Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank has won just... he came last season. He just came into the environment of where it is in football, and so far he's just a neck of time game he has won. He has played 38 games in all competition. He was in charge when last season, when Manchester United versus Tottenham, when they played that final, he was in charge.
Okay, for I think was it Europa?
For Europa final, Europa League final.
Okay, he was the one in charge.
Yes.
Then. Wow.
Now he was in charge. Now see what happened.
And he won.
He won, and it was just a very sleek victory that he had. Now he has played 38 games in all competition. He has won just 13 wins, and he has 11 draws and 14 losses.
Wow. Wow.
So you know, the aggregate of this whole thing. So what do you actually think about Thomas Frank leaving Tottenham at this time that they actually need someone? And who do you think would be a great fit for Tottenham to, you know, to have back as their, you know, as their coach?
Well, Tottenham as a club, I don't even know what's wrong with Tottenham in the first place. Tottenham used to be among the, is it top 5 now, we say. When you mention Man U, Chelsea, you still mention Tottenham.
Okay.
For a club now that is playing Champions League football, currently, they are playing well. Funny enough, they're in a good spot in the Champions League. But look at where they are in the Premier League, 16th. Thomas Frank is a good coach. I think he came from Brentford, right? They bought him from Brentford. He performed well in Brentford. But coming to Tottenham, that's why I say I don't know what's Tottenham's problem. It's not that they don't have players. They signed some players.
No, that's Tottenham. Tottenham actually signed up to 3 players.
Yes, quality players.
Quality players. Now, looking at their forward, they have Solanke. You know Solanke?
Dominic Solanke.
Dominic Solanke, yes. You have Solanke.
They
signed for 63 million euros. They have Matistel that came from Bayern Munich.
Okay.
They have Xavi Simons.
Yeah.
That came from PSG.
No, I think a club in Germany. Leipzig also. Simon is from Germany.
Simon is from Germany?
Yeah. It should be Leipzig.
Leipzig?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Which team wears Red Bull?
That's Leipzig.
Leipzig, right here. Okay. Now, Leipzig. So, now, they have Colomwani.
They have Richarlison.
Richarlison. They have Colomwani.
Quality players.
Colomwani.
They have Kudus. I think Kudus is injured.
Mohamed Kudus, but he's injured.
Yeah.
They have Kudus. They have a lot of quality players.
Well, they still have injury crisis. Yeah, that's one thing with Tottenham. They still have injury crisis. So I can say for sure.
Can we talk about how it is actually not an injury problem?
No, I don't think it's an injury problem.
It's
because
not
even when some of those players
were back, it's not a management problem. It's a tactics problem.
I don't know. And the coach is good. The coach Thomas Frank is good.
Did you watch?
But I don't know what's happening.
Did you watch? The game against Manchester City? That game that they had to
that
draw
they drew 2-2.
Yes.
I don't know whether when Tottenham sees Manchester City, I don't know that they always perform. Okay. If you go and check their history, they always perform. I think first leg Tottenham won 2-0. They won Man City 2-0 in the first leg. The second leg now they had to play 2-2. So
they had to play 2-2.
It's always that competitive when they just hear. I think all their hair will just stand in their body. They don't hear Man City. They say no, this is not the match they want to lose.
This is not the match.
But if you now come to other team, you will see something like West Ham will just come and beat Tottenham from nowhere. Newcastle will just beat. Okay. And I don't know their history. They are not good with smaller teams, but when you come to big teams, if they even hear Man yourself, if not for that red card, I don't know how that match will have gone.
I too don't.
That's how they play. They just like competitive football when it comes to big team, but the other ones they just feel relaxed. I don't know.
Now look at their team. Just look at their team. As Son, Heung-min Son left last season. They have look at men they have. Tottenham is ready. Look at Matistel. You know Matistel was excluded from Champions League list so that they can register Solanke.
Wow.
Yes. So that was actually a problem. It brought some kind of rift among the team. And I think when you talk about what happens in football, you talk about the dressing room characters.
Yes.
What is happening in dressing room will be seen on the pitch when people play.
Yeah,
if there are great leaders in the dressing room, if there are great people who inspire people to do great, for instance, Manchester United currently has a great dressing room. Now, that kind of a thing, it brings them into oneness, unity, that when they go to the pitch to perform, to play their game, they are playing their best. And that is one of the things that we don't talk about in football. You know, I said that football is not just tactics. Yeah. Football is also character. Yeah. Football is also how you put yourself, how you gather yourself, and the leadership.
Yes.
Football needs great leaders. People who live in football, just like Bruno Fernandes, he actually lives in football. Oh. Now, let's go over to the trending news about Nwabali. Nwabali so far has been on the news for a while now because of transfers and issues around his resignation from his former team, that's Chippa United in South Africa. Now, Nwabali is really doing. He has done a lot of great stuff.
He has done well.
He has done well, but currently he has no team. And just in the news, ex Super Eagles goalkeeper just was asking him to come to Rivers United, and you know that Rivers United are doing so well in
Rivers United
in Nigerian professional football.
So he should leave South Africa
No,
and come to Nigeria.
No, because currently he has no team. So
does not mean he should go to Rivers United.
But
once you sign there, you can't just leave there immediately.
No,
Isn't it?
No. See what happened. He actually was. It's not that he has resigned. Like he has no club now.
He's a free agent.
He's a free agent,
Yes.
something like that. So the thing is that once he's not signed again, he's not signed to any club currently.
Okay.
So now him moving from that cheaper United
To Rivers.
to Rivers United, both of them are United.
I don't think that should be a wise decision. I don't think so.
You don't think why?
Because I know clubs will still come for Nwabali.
No, clubs are already coming. For instance, there's this club in Casablanca. There's this club in Tanzania too. They are coming for him. But
No, those I'm waiting. I'm expecting bigger clubs to come.
bigger
for him,
clubs.
Not all
Okay,
these
let's talk about Nwabali. What team do you think Nwabali could feature?
He should be going to Europe by now. If he's not coming to Premier League, he should be at least one of the top 5 teams, European teams.
European teams.
Should be going there. I don't want to be hearing Tanzania, Uganda, Nigeria for someone like Nwabali.
Nwabali
He should be above that fit now. He performed well. If you look at his AFCON performance, he performed well. And he has been performing for Chipas United. So
No, he has.
Going to Tanzania or Nigeria is like, for me, it's like you are going backwards. What are you coming to do in Nigeria?
Well, the thing is that I will tell you the truth is that if he is paid well, if he is paid what he demands and what he desires.
Is it in Nigeria they will pay him that way?
No, I'm telling you that if he mentions a price and he is paid the price, then
But it should not be in Nigeria even though he's paid well.
No, you don't get me. If he says this is what he wants to aim,
Yes.
this is what you guys are going to pay me, and and they pay him eventually,
Yes.
I don't think there's a problem.
No, my own problem with what you have said now is as long as let's say he mentions they should be paying him 500 million,
Yes.
and Rivers United agreed to pay him 500 million, he should not even go there.
Why?
What is he doing there?
Why?
He should go somewhere that will expose him more, that his career will be going forward. Not what are you doing in Rivers? Are you playing Champions League football in Rivers, or are you playing one Premier League, or are you playing one?
Okay, let me ask you. Do you think when you bring in Nwabali to which European team currently their goalkeeper you can use to replace Nwabali?
Chelsea.
Are you serious?
Who is keeping for Chelsea? What is Chelsea goalkeeper doing?
Sanchez is not doing anything.
He's conceding almost every time. They
Sanchez,
were 2-0 down against Leeds. They came back 2-2.
I can actually tell you that he has more beards than he can.
Sanchez
he has more beards
yes.
than
That's the thing. He
than
has
can
more
conceive.
than Nwabali. But as a goalkeeper now, I think I'll pick Nwabali over Sanchez.
Over Sanchez.
Any day, anytime. If you wake me from sleep, I'll pick Nwabali. So Chelsea need goalkeeper.
Chelsea need goalkeeper.
They should be looking at to sign Nwabali, not telling me Sanchez is their goalkeeper.
All right.
So,
Now, still in the news about what is really happening in Nigeria and in the world of sports. But now, football is actually one of the issues that, especially in sports, one of the most trending news that we always have.
Yes.
Now, we are talking about Victor Osimhen. And in the news this morning, Victor Osimhen, Galatasaray has slapped a release clause on Victor Osimhen.
okay.
80 million euros for you to buy. If you're coming to buy Victor Osimhen now, you must prepare your pocket.
Your budget.
Your budget must be 80 million euros. Now, 80 million euros is approximately which of the Nigerian players have been signed? Which of the Nigerian players? Now, let's say which sum of money. Let me tell you. Do you know? Let me not just be. I'm not biased, but let me tell you, slapping the likes of Victor Osimhen for 80 million euros, to me, is not enough.
It's too
It's slow.
Yeah.
It's slow.
I thought you wanted to say it's too much.
No, it's slow. You know why?
It's slow now.
It's slow because Victor Osimhen
He's above that.
He's above that. He's
and
above.
he has been performing. He has proven himself over time. But the only thing I see is that maybe they are putting this release clause because he's an African player.
Of course.
That's just what I'm seeing.
Of course, it does. It does happen.
Osimhen is on the level of Haaland. He's on the
Osimhen is
level
on
of
the-
Mbappe. He's on the level of Harry Kane. So if you want to sign Haaland today now, Mbappe, are you going to say 80 million?
You can't even sign Haaland for 200.
It's not possible.
You can't even sign Haaland for 250 million.
So
euros.
I think that's just
They should-
the mentality of he's an African.
That-
so
yeah, that kind of
the
a
money
thing.
should be
Now, Barcelona is going for him, or Barcelona is in the news that Barcelona is actually trying to, get him to play for them to replace Lewandowski.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about this particular trend of players who are doing well and they go to a team and they don't perform. But looking at Victor Osimhen, he went from Napoli. He's on loan.
Yes, he's on.
This is loan.
Yeah, I'm aware.
So now, if he could do this while being on, and you know that in the news that Victor Osimhen is like a god in Turkey.
Yes, yes.
Victor Osimhen, we should actually give him, as his hand is folded like this, we should put, there's something we call a godo in his hand to hold it as the chief. He's the chief.
They should have 1 day public holiday.
One day public holiday for Victor Osimhen, because what are you saying?
He has performed.
He has performed.
And he will perform in Barcelona.
He will perform.
A club like
Of course,
Barcelona.
of course.
He will perform very
He
well.
will.
Very well.
Now let's talk about Victor Osimhen in Barcelona. Do you think
in fact,
there's someone that Victor Osimhen will replace?
of course, he's going. Is it right now?
Right now, yes.
If he's coming, Lewandowski should be relegated to the bench.
I'll be
Lewandowski
relegated on that.
he has tried.
On that
He
part.
has tried. He has tried. He has played football.
No,
He has given us goals.
Yeah,
But
during his days in Bayern Munich.
yes, no, he has come of age.
Yes, of course.
Now, if you are replacing Lewandowski with Victor Osimhen, Osimhen should be starting now.
No,
You can't be playing Lewandowski for 70 minutes, then you want to put Osimhen for 30 minutes.
Yes.
So it should be the other way around. Osimhen playing 80 minutes,
Yes.
Lewandowski coming for 10 minutes, because Osimhen is vibrant.
Very
He's
vibrant.
ready to score.
He's ready. He's even ready
in
to
fact,
go for the ball.
agility and everything still has it more than Lewandowski. And
Yeah.
Barcelona, they are kind of football. In fact, Osimhen will enjoy Barcelona because
Of course.
there are guys to give him the passes.
Lamine Yamal.
Yamal is there to give him, even though Lamine wants to score. Lamine still has that mindset of giving assists.
Lamine Yamal is good.
No, it's good.
It's good.
It's definitely good.
Now, as we're talking about Barcelona, let's go to Rashford news, like things around concerning
I think
Rashford.
he has
because
picked up an injury now.
he picked up an injury and he will not be playing for just a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Or in fact, he's going to miss their next game. And Rashford currently looking at his form, and Michael Carrick, it's on the news that Michael Carrick wants Rashford back to Manchester United. Do you think Manchester United would want Rashford back?
But does Rashford want
To
Manchester
go back.
United?
Well,
I don't think so.
Rashford would definitely, he would, because he went. This is loan,
Yes.
so he would want to go back. He would want to prove, but you know that one of the reasons why he was sent away from Manchester was because of lack of. He was underperforming and he was not working hard.
He was underperforming, not working, and he had, I think, attitude problem.
Attitude problem.
Yes.
The same thing that Jadon Sancho
Yes.
has.
Sancho had it.
Eh.
Garnacho was the king of the attitude problem.
Who now?
That Garnacho, that boy.
Now,
If I should see that boy one-on-one,
you want to. You have beef.
I have reservations for him. If it's like at least one slap, because that boy is misbehaving. But
Please do.
Rashford, I don't think he wants to go back to Manchester United,
Okay.
funny enough.
Why do you think he doesn't want to go back?
He has lost that, what will I say, is it love for Manchester United. His heart is no more there.
If his heart is no more
His
there,
heart is no
who
more
stole
there.
his heart?
That's the thing.
If he wants to go to Barcelona, let's sell him and make money.
That's what Man U should be thinking of now. Sell this boy.
Because
if you come back,
Who will he replace?
that's the thing now. Who are you coming to replace in Manchester? Is it
are you-
Cunha now that
is
you
it
are going
Cunha?
to relegate to the bench, or are you trying to bring Rashford to strike, where we have Sesko and
Sesko,
when we put
where
in
we have
effort?
Ziggy too.
Zexi is still there.
You have
But
a lot of guys.
I don't think he should be coming back. Just leave him. Let him be enjoying football where he is.
Yes, of
He's
course.
enjoying football. So there's no need of bringing him back. Then coming, he will now be starting off from the bench.
Yes.
So just leave him. Let him be enjoying Barcelona. And I know he wants Barcelona, so he should be there.
All right. Finally, let's talk about Manchester City.
Yeah.
Their match yesterday what happened in their match yesterday. They actually won that game, and it was a first half win.
Yeah.
Now, Manchester City, Haaland had to score in 2 games. He scored two. He scored 1 goal yesterday. Then he scored at the other. Then now, Antonio Semenyo is a sensation. Since he came from Bournemouth, he has had a goal contribution. Now, just briefly, what do you think about the Manchester City team behind Arsenal?
Well, Manchester, they are playing. In fact, I think Pep has warned Arsenal that
yes, so
if you lose guard, if you make a mistake,
yeah,
just forget about the league. And they are playing very. They are showing it. They're not. It's not just saying it. They are showing it. There's evidence. And that match against Fulham yesterday, I think they had a peace deal that I think you have gotten your 3 points. You are winning me 3-0 first. I think the coaches just met each other and say it's okay. Marcus Silva just told Pep Guardiola, don't embarrass me. It's okay. They are 3-0 up.
Yes.
That's enough. You have your job. Let me also secure my job. Don't come and start beating me 5-0, 6-0. So that's enough.
And that's enough. That's really enough this morning. As we wrap up the show here on Aneke TV, thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much worldwide.
Yeah, thank you
I think I prefer calling you worldwide.
Actually, that thing is worldwide Weno. Weno is my nickname. So, but for just to shorten it, I just said worldwide. So if you want to say worldwide Weno or www.
Wow. All right. Thank you very much, bro, for doing this with me this morning. I am your one and only sports oracle, bringing you the best of sports and how it has been happening in the world of sports. See you same time, same station tomorrow here on Aneke TV. And I wish you the best of the day. Keep on sporting. Have a wonderful time. Bye.
Morning headlines before you step out. Midday updates while you work. Evening analysis when the day winds down. Wherever life takes you, Aneke TV keeps you informed, connected, and ahead. Aneke TV. Move with the world.
My name is Dr. Emmanuel Ihechi Asonye. I am the CEO of Omenka App LLC. I created Omenka App for the preservation of Igbo language and culture. Omenka App was established in New Mexico, and it is headquartered in Albuquerque, but currently we are also being registered in Nigeria. We have a website. We are also on social media because my app is primarily for the Igbo community. In 2006, something significant happened among the Igbo community. UNESCO predicted that Igbo language was going to go into extinction, and that was because Igbo people are one of the most traveled people in the whole world. So the more children are born outside of Igbo land, the more they get disconnected. The app is on iOS, it's also on Android. Access the website and download the app from there. And over 2,000 people are using the app right now. But there's an app that will teach you about Igbo culture, Igbo people. We have Igbo poems, we have riddles and jokes, we have Igbo proverbs, then we have the word section where you are going to search Igbo words. Whatever word that you can find in English, you want to make sure it is found in the app in Igbo language. And I encourage everybody from their communities, you can do what we're doing in Omenka app with your own language and with your own culture. Do not allow your culture or your language to die.
Ohaneze ndị Igbo worldwide heartily congratulate two illustrious sons and a daughter of Ali Igbo, namely Collins Obinna Chibueze, Shabuzi, Tyler Gregory Okoma, Tyler the Creator, and Cynthia Chinyasa Onyedimonazo Ukebu Erivo on their historic victories at the 68th Grammy Awards held on 2nd February 2026. Their remarkable achievements across diverse creative fields stand as a powerful testament to the creativity, resilience, excellence, and global relevance of Igbo talents. By proudly carrying their Igbo identities and names onto the world's most prestigious cultural stage, they have brought immense honor to Nigeria and to Nigerians everywhere. Speaking on behalf of the global Igbo nation, the President General of Ohaneze Igbo Worldwide, Senator Azuta Mbata, stated, "These outstanding achievements reaffirm the timeless Igbo virtues of brilliance, hard work, innovation, courage, and perseverance. Our sons and daughters have once again demonstrated that wherever the Igbo find themselves, excellence follows, and they hoist the flag of Nigeria. We celebrate these winners not only for their personal success, but for elevating the Igbo name as Nigerian citizens with dignity and pride before the world." Ohaneze Igbo Worldwide thanks these award winners for being the worthy ambassadors of Igbo values and for inspiring millions of young people across the globe. Their journey sends a clear message to Igbo youth everywhere. Remain focused, law-abiding, resilient, and committed to excellence, knowing that integrity and perseverance can open doors on any global stage. As a people known for turning adversity into opportunity, Ndi Igbo remain proud contributors to national and global progress. Ohaneze Igbo Worldwide urges the government, institutions, and stakeholders to continue investing in structures that nurture talent, creativity, and enterprise so that future successes may flourish both at home and abroad. Once again, we celebrate these historic victories and salute all Igbo youths who continue to project the values of Igbo with honor and distinction. Signed, Ezechi Chukwu, National Publicity Secretary, Ohaneze Igbo Worldwide.
Good morning and welcome to News Around the Globe on Aneke TV, your trusted window to major developments across Nigeria and the global community. I am Deborah Wakaba, glad to have you join us. Now moving over to the headlines. Federal government lifts no work, no pay policy on Juhusu salaries. Federal government unveils permanent safe school security plan. And on the foreign scene, Bangladesh holds first post-Hasina election. And on business, new weekly dollar sales introduced to stabilize the naira. And now the news in details. The federal government has lifted the no work, no pay embargo on health workers following the suspension of the nationwide strike by the joint health sector unions, JOHESU. The Ministry of Health and Social Welfare has directed the Accountant General of the Federation to release the withheld January 2026 salaries. A memo issued by the ministry confirms the withdrawal of the earlier directive that mandated the stoppage of salaries during the industrial action. The Integrated Payroll and Personal Information System (IPPIS) has been instructed to process payment without delay. The decision follows JOHESU's return to work on February 5th, ending an 84-day strike that began on November 15, 2025. The action was triggered by disputes over the implementation of an unadjusted salary structure and welfare-related concerns. Government officials say the move is aimed at restoring stability within federal health institutions. Union representatives have acknowledged the development while emphasizing the need for full compliance with agreements reached. The federal government has commenced the second phase of the Jigibola to Zero initiative, extending the program to 8 additional states. The beneficiary states include Edo, Enugu, Nasarawa, Ogun, Osun, Oyo, Rivers, and Taraba. The initiative integrates basic eye care services into primary healthcare delivery with emphasis on early detection of vision problems. Primary healthcare workers are being trained to screen patients and provide corrective reading glasses. Officials state that the program targets press biopia on age-related decline in near vision commonly affecting adults over 40 years. The first phase recorded over 1 million screenings nationwide. The government says the expansion supports broader universal health coverage goals. The program is funded through development partnership and is expected to improve productivity and quality of life. The Enugu state government says more than 1.5 million children have been vaccinated within the first 7 days of the ongoing measles rubella immunization campaign. The exercise targets children aged 9 months to 14 years. The Executive Secretary of the Enugu State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Ifeyiwa Ani Osheku, described the campaign as critical to disease prevention. She noted that the figure represents approximately 68% of the projected target. Health authorities say extensive community mobilization has been undertaken across schools, religious centers, and households. No serious adverse reaction have been reported since the commencement of the campaign. Government officials have urged parents and caregivers to ensure eligible children are vaccinated before the February 15 deadline. Development partners, including WHO and UNICEF, continue to support the exercise. President Bola Tinubu has nominated Ambassador Ismail Yusuf as Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON. The nomination is subject to Senate confirmation. The appointment follows the resignation of the former chairman, Professor Abdullahi Usman. NACON's board had earlier expressed concerns regarding administrative and financial management issues. Industry stakeholders say preparations for the 2026 Hajj operations are at a critical stage, with initial flights scheduled for May 1st. Key logistics include pilgrim data processing, airlift arrangements, and accommodation planning. Authorities say efforts are underway to ensure continuity and stability in the Commission's activities. Private operators have called for a seamless transition to safeguard operational timelines. The federal government has announced plans to establish a dedicated Safe Schools department within the Federal Ministry of Education. The initiative is designed to strengthen security across educational institutions nationwide. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Lausa, disclosed the development during a strategic meeting with the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC). The department will coordinate security policies and interventions. The NSCDC reports that a significant number of schools lack basic protective infrastructure, including perimeter fencing and security personnel. Authorities say new measures will incorporate surveillance system and rapid response mechanism. Government officials state that the program aims to enhance safety and improve confidence in the school system. State and local level coordination structures are also being introduced. Proceedings at a Senate Committee Budget Defense session involving the Federal Ministry of Works were temporarily disrupted following a disagreement among lawmakers. The incident centered on procedural and ranking issues. Order was later restored after the intervention of senior members of the committee. The session subsequently continued with the Minister of Works presenting the ministry's budget proposals. The Minister, David Umahi, outlined a capital allocation of 3,245 trillion naira for the 2026 fiscal year. The budget covers ongoing infrastructure projects and new regional road developments. Officials say funding strategies include domestic financing mechanisms to support abundant projects. The ministry reaffirmed its commitment to quality assurance in project execution. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has raised concerns over what he describes as increasing scrutiny of opposition figures. He made the remark during a media interview. El-Rufai alleged that some of his former associates are currently facing investigation by security agencies. He linked the development to the evolving political landscape. Relevant authorities have not issued an official response to the claims. Observers note that investigations involving public officials fall within the mandate of statutory institutions. Political analysts say developments ahead of 2027 general elections continue to attract public attention. Stakeholders have called for adherence to due process and rule of law. Kwara State Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak has inaugurated the 7-member intervention committee to support victims of the February 3rd attack on Woro community in Kayama local government area. The committee has been mandated to assess immediate needs, including medical assistance, infrastructure rehabilitation, and psychosocial support. Authorities report casualties and property losses from the incident. The governor reaffirmed the state government's commitment to collaborating with federal security agencies. Measures are being intensified to strengthen security presence in affected areas. Community leaders have welcomed the intervention, describing it as timely. The government says recovery and stability efforts will be sustained. Residents of Makoko, Sogunro and Oko Albon communities have reached a peace agreement with the Lagos state government following recent demolition exercise. The resolution includes the establishment of a community-led committee to document affected properties. The data is expected to guide verification and compensation processes. State officials have reiterated plans for urban regeneration within the affected waterfront areas. Authorities say the project is designed to improve infrastructure and living conditions. Community representatives have expressed readiness to cooperate with the government. Stakeholders emphasize the importance of transparency and inclusiveness. The Independent National Electoral Commission, Aneke, has reaffirmed its partnership with the National Peace Committee, NPC, ahead of the forthcoming Federal Capital Territory Area Council election. Aneke Chairman Professor Joash Mupitan said the collaboration is aimed at strengthening election security and promoting peaceful conduct. The NPC recently established an election security information hub. The Commission says risk assessments and stakeholder engagements are ongoing. Identified areas of concern will be incorporated into security planning. Both institutions emphasize the importance of peaceful participation in the electoral process. Preparations for the election continues. News around the globe is coming to you live from Aneke TV. Remember, you can stay connected with us on our socials. Or you can call our phone number 070-3043-7110. And here's a quick recap of the major stories making the news. Again, the headlines: Federal government lifts no work, no pay policy on Johannes's salaries. Federal government unveils permanent safe school security plan. And coming up shortly, Bangladesh holds first post-Hasina election. New weekly dollar sales introduced to stabilize the naira. We'll be right back.
Morning headlines before you step out. Midday updates while you work. Evening analysis when the day winds down. Wherever life takes you, Aneke TV keeps you informed, connected, and ahead. Aneke TV. Move with the world.
Welcome back. Still on the news, millions of voters across Bangladesh turned out on Thursday for the country's first general election since the 2024 removal of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. The poll is widely regarded as a major test of the nation's democratic transition following months of political upheaval. Electoral authorities report that more than 128 million citizens have registered to vote. The political environment has changed significantly since the last election cycle. The formerly ruling Awami League remains banned while Sheikh Hasina is still in exile. The contest is primarily between the Bangladesh Nationalist Party and the Islamist Jamaat-e-Islamic coalition. In addition to electing a new parliament, voters are also deciding on proposed constitutional reforms. The measures include a two-term limit for the Prime Minister, the creation of bicameral legislature, and provision for neutral interim government during elections. Security has been heightened nationwide with nearly 1 million personnel deployed to maintain order. Officials say voter turnout, particularly among young citizens, has been strong. Final results are expected on Friday. Morocco has secured a 2-year term on the African Union's Peace and Security Council following elections held in Addis Ababa. The outcome was announced by Morocco's Ministry of Foreign Affairs after voting at the 48th ordinary session of the AU Executive Council. According to official figures, Morocco obtained 34 votes, surpassing the required 2/3 majority. The ministry described the results as a reaffirmation of the country's role in continental peace and security initiatives. Morocco has previously served on the council during earlier mandates from 2018 to 2020 and from 2022 to 2025. Authorities say the country contributed to institutional reforms and conflict resolution mechanisms during those periods. The Peace and Security Council is responsible for the prevention, management, and resolution of conflict across Africa. Morocco's delegation to the Executive Council meeting is led by Foreign Minister Nasser Bourita. Authorities in Portugal have confirmed the collapse of a section of the A1 motorway following severe flooding triggered by continued storms. The incident occurred near Coimbra after the river Mondego breached a levee beneath a highway support structure. Police had earlier closed the affected route as a precautionary measure. No casualties have been reported in connection with the collapse. Emergency services remain on site to assess structural damage. Officials attribute the flooding to an atmospheric river which has brought prolonged heavy rainfall to the northern and central Portugal. The adverse weather has resulted in multiple fatalities and widespread power disruptions. Evacuation efforts are ongoing in flood-prone communities while authorities monitor water levels at key dams. Civil protection agencies warn residents to remain vigilant and as unstable condition persists. Moldovan Prime Minister Alexandru Mutuenu has called for calm following clashes linked to a dispute over church property in the village of Dereniu. The confrontation involved parishioners and law enforcement officers after a court ruling on ownership of the building. The property had been legally awarded to a branch affiliated with the Romanian Orthodox Church. However, a priest aligned with the Russian Orthodox Church reportedly occupied the structure, leading to tensions. Police intervened to enforce the court decision, resulting in scuffles and multiple arrests. Authorities confirmed that 6 individuals, including the village mayor, have been detained. The government says it will not interfere in religious matters, but will uphold public order and judicial rulings. Criminal investigations have been opened into the incident. Bulgarian authorities investigating the discovery of 6 bodies in 2 separate locations within the mountainous region. The first 3 victims were found near a burned hut in the Petrohan mountain pass. Emergency responders later located 3 additional bodies, including a teenage boy, inside a camper van near Mount Okochista. Police say forensic examinations are ongoing. Preliminary findings indicate no visible signs of a struggle at either side. Ballistic evidence suggests close-range gunfire in both cases. Investigators are exploring multiple lines of inquiry, including possible links between the 2 scenes. Officials say further details will be released as the investigation progresses. The United States President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have concluded a meeting in Florida without reaching a final agreement on Iran-related policy issues. The talks focused on regional security and diplomatic strategies. Statements following the meeting indicate offering emphasis on future negotiations with Tehran. Trump reiterated support for a diplomatic approach, while Netanyahu stressed Israel's security concerns. The discussions come amid heightened tensions in the Middle East. Reports indicate increased U.S. military deployment in the region. Both sides described the talks as constructive. Further consultation expected to developments continue. And now moving over to business news. The Central Bank of Nigeria has introduced a new policy permitting licensed bureau de change operators to purchase up to $150,000 weekly. The measure is aimed at improving foreign exchange liquidity in the retail market. Market analysts say the directive could help reduce pressure on the naira and narrow the gap between official and foreign market rates. The policy is also expected to support businesses reliant on imported inputs. Under the guidelines, operators must sell unused funds within 24 hours. The CBN has also mandated electronic reporting of transactions to enhance transparency. Cash transactions are restricted to 25% of total sales, with the remainder processed through formal banking channels. The bank says the reforms are designed to stabilize the exchange rate system. Hare's holding chairman Tony Elumelu has called for stronger collaboration between government and private investors to transform Africa's agricultural sector. He made the remarks at the IFAD Governance Council in Rome. Elumelu identified reliable electricity, blended finance, and business education as key drivers of growth. He noted that energy access remains a major barrier to innovation in rural communities. He advocated financing models that combine philanthropic and commercial capital to support small-scale entrepreneurs. The approach, he said, can expand opportunities for young agribusiness operators. Elumelu cited the Tony Elumelu Foundation's impact across the continent, highlighting job creation and increased participation by women. He urged policymakers to prioritize youth-focused reforms. And now in sports, the Confederation of African Football has commenced a technical inspection tour of facilities designated for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. The assessment covers Tanzania, Uganda and Kenya. CAF officials are evaluating stadium infrastructure, training sites and security arrangements. The inspection is scheduled to run through February 17. CAF President Patrice Motsepe is expected to join part of the mission. Authorities say the exercise is essential for ensuring compliance with tournament standards. The 2027 edition will mark a shift in CAF's competition calendar ahead of the transition to a 4-year AFCON cycle beginning in 2028. Coventry City manager Frank Lampard says midfielder Frank Aneke may be unavailable for upcoming fixtures due to personal circumstances. The player is awaiting the birth of his child. Aneke joined the club on loan from Brentford during the January transfer window. The midfielder has been training with the squad since his arrival. Lampard says the club fully supports the player's family commitment. His participation in the next league match remains uncertain. Coventry City currently leads the championship standards on goal difference. Club officials say Anyeke's integration will continue once he is available. And now to the world of entertainment. Influencer Priscilla Ojo has shared details of a recent gift from her husband, Tanzanian musician Juma Jukes. The development was revealed through a social media post. The couple was seen visiting a luxury boutique where Jukes purchased jewelry items. The video has attracted significant online attention. The pair have previously drawn public interest following their wedding and family milestones. Observers note their continued visibility on digital platforms. Fans have reacted positively to the latest post. The couple has not issued further statements. Still on entertainment, the family of Nollywood actor Peter Doche has dismissed reports circulating on social media suggesting the veteran performer has died. The clarification was issued by his elder son, Leo Edochie, in a video statement. Leo Edochie described the claims as false and misleading. He confirmed that the actor is alive and in good health. The family ordered the public to disregard unverified information. They also called for responsible use of social media platforms. The incident adds to a series of recent celebrity misinformation cases online. Peter Doche continues to receive support from fans and colleagues. And finally, before we go on news around the globe, here's a recap of our top stories. The federal government has lifted the no work, no pay policy affecting members of the joint health sector unions, JHOSU, following the suspension of the prolonged nationwide strike. Authorities say the decision is aimed at restoring industrial harmony and ensuring stability within the healthcare system, while reaffirming government's commitment to dialogue with health sector workers. The federal government also unveiled a permanent safe school security framework designed to strengthen protection for students, teachers, and educational institutions across the country. The initiative focuses on coordinated security measures, improved surveillance, and closer collaboration with security agencies on safeguarding learning environments. And on the foreign scene, Bangladeshis have gone to the polls in what observers describe as the first major election since the exit of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. The exercise is being closely monitored amid expectations that the outcome could shape the country's political direction and governance landscape. And on the business front, monetary authorities have introduced new weekly dollar sales as part of efforts to stabilize the naira and improve liquidity in the foreign exchange markets. The move is expected to ease pressure on the local currency and enhance confidence among investors and market participants. And that's news around the globe on Aneke TV. For more news and live updates, follow us across all our social media platforms, all at Aneke TV, or call us on 070-3043-7110. I am Deborah Wakaba. Thank you for watching.
Second, the world changes, markets rise, leaders speak, stories unfold. To keep up, you don't just need news, you need clarity, you need speed, you need perspective.
That's why Aneke TV brings you the global pulse. Accurate, reliable, right when it matters most. Aneke TV. Move with the world.
My name is Dr. Emmanuel Inhechi Asonye. I am the CEO of Omenka App LLC. I created Omenka App for the preservation of Igbo language and culture. Omenka App was established in New Mexico and it is headquartered in Albuquerque. But currently we are also being registered in Nigeria. We have a website. We are also on social media because my app is primarily for the Igbo community. In 2006, something significant happened among the Igbo community. UNESCO predicted that Igbo language was going to go into extinction, and that was because Igbo people are one of the most traveled people in the whole world. So the more children are born outside of Igbo land, the more they get disconnected. The app is on iOS, it's also on Android. Access the website and download the app from there. And over 2,000 people are using the app right now. But there's an app that will teach you about Igbo culture, Igbo people. We have Igbo poems, we have riddles and jokes, we have Igbo proverbs, then we have the word section where you are going to search Igbo words. Whatever word that you can find in English, you want to make sure it is found in the app in Igbo language. And I encourage everybody from their communities, you can do what we're doing in Omenka app with your own language and with your own culture. Do not allow your culture or your language to die.
As the global community marks Valentine's Day on February 14th, the celebration goes beyond romance and gift exchanges. At its core, Valentine's Day reflects universal values of love, empathy, and compassion, values that hold strong potential for promoting peace and unity in Nigeria. Love, when expressed through understanding and respect, becomes a powerful tool for peace. In a society grappling with economic pressure, insecurity, and social division, intentional acts of kindness can ease tensions and restore trust among citizens. Nigerians' diversity remains one of its greatest strengths. Valentine's Day offers an opportunity to enforce shared humanity above ethnic, religious, and political differences, reminding Nigerians that peaceful coexistence begins with mutual respect. For young Nigerians, Valentine's Day can be a lesson of emotional intelligence, teaching that love includes patience, self-control, and responsibility. These values discourage violence and promote dialogue over confrontation. Peace at the national level is rooted in stable families and caring communities. Valentine's Day encourages generosity, inclusion, and social support, reducing isolation and resentment that often fuel unrest. The celebration provides a platform for civic engagement when communities use the day to promote charity, reconciliation, and peace campaigns. Valentine's Day becomes a quiet force for national healing. While Valentine's Day alone cannot solve Nigeria's challenges, its message of love and empathy offers a meaningful pathway toward peace. When sustained and rightly understood, the celebration can help build stronger relationships, calmer communities, and a more united nation. Across Nigeria, electricity has become an everyday struggle. Blackouts are no longer occasional, they are part of daily life for millions of Nigerians. In homes, families spend long hours in darkness. Parents worry about keeping food fresh. Children struggle to study. And the cost of running generators adds to household expenses in an already challenging economy. Businesses are also feeling the pinch. Shops, restaurants, and small factories often spend more on fuel for generators than they earn in daily revenue. Perishable goods spoil. Production slows. Evening sales decline. Electricity, which should be a basic necessity, has become a luxury. Experts say the crisis stems from multiple factors: technical failures and aging infrastructure in the national grid, frequent gas shortages, and operational inefficiencies in distribution companies all contribute. Maintenance outage and tariff adjustments have further reduced the supply of electricity across the country. The impact on national development is significant. Schools struggle to conduct evening classes. Hospitals depend heavily on generators to keep life-saving equipment running. Businesses lose revenue, and the cost of doing business rises. The lack of stable electricity slows economic growth and limits opportunities for millions of Nigerians. Experts recommend practical solutions: increasing electricity generation, especially through renewable sources like solar, wind, and hydro, could reduce reliance on gas. Upgrading and maintaining infrastructure, stabilizing gas supply, and encouraging private sector participation in independent power projects would help expand supply and improve efficiency. Off-grid solutions such as solar panels, mini-grids, and inverters can supplement national supply, ensuring homes, schools, and businesses continue to function during outages. Energy conservation, smart meters, and transparent billing systems can also reduce losses and encourage reliable supply. Some businesses have already combined solar power with backup generators, cutting fuel costs by nearly half. Schools and hospitals using mini-grids continue operations even when the national grid fails. Expanding these solutions nationwide could significantly reduce the impact of blackouts, saving households money and boosting productivity. For now, Nigerians wait for a lasting solution. Stable and reliable electricity is not just convenience, it is the backbone of daily life, economic growth, and national development.
Good day, Nigerians. Electricity has always been a major concern for Nigerians, from households to businesses. Today, we hit the streets to ask everyday Nigerians on a simple question: are you satisfied with the current electricity supply in your area?
I think there is a little improvement in terms of distribution, but the tariff, I'm not happy with the tariff. There is an increase in tariff. It's not about where I live. Everybody feels it because, I mean, whatever you put in, before a day or two, it goes up. So, yeah, it's not satisfactory. So they need to review the tariff, you know, to a government that feels for the people. People should enjoy something from the government. Almost all the things that are controlled by the state is on the increase. Think about electricity, think about fuel supply, water supply. It's not fair. An average Nigerian deserves a bit of fresh air, you know, so they can start it with reducing the tariff. For once, let's feel a reduction in tariff.
I'm not satisfied at all. The tariff is very, very high. Like 4 units for 1,000 naira is too much. It's too high. They should be giving us like 10 units for 1,000, please. It's too high. It's affecting me because I'm using industrial machine. I'm using a lot of electronics, so it's affecting me seriously. Sometimes you will collect a customer clothes that will charge the person like 10,000 naira. The light that you buy to sew the clothes is even more than the money that you charge the customer, so it's too high. Please, they should do something about it. They should do something about it. Even if they should increase the units. That 4 units for 1,000 naira is too much. It's too much.
Please, not fully satisfied, but it's the better. It's very, very better. I'm from the village. and we are getting it better now. At least when we have full light, and there's no day we don't have it. So I'm very happy now that something is very, very fine. Please, very fine. I mean very fine. Before, it used to affect me because I may not have, the main thing I have is the fridge and the phone. So at times I'll put something inside the fridge, it will spoil. But now it's no more like that. When I put, if there's no light in the morning, it will be in the night. Then my phone now is always available. Yes, there's a big change. They are doing better. Please, myself and other people around me will confirm. Because it's a village that know the most thing that is happening.
There should be a constant interaction, one-on-one interaction, with stakeholder. There should be a kind of maybe monthly, I get me, or quarterly. The electricity distribution should convene a stakeholder meeting so that we can sit down and interact to know the way forward. Because the way things are, almost our earning is going into electricity.
They provide light very well, but the price is kind of high. But their light is, at least in a 24-hour space, we can have light for 20 hours. So the light is very stable. But it's just the amount, the tariff that is high.
There is a significant improvement in supply, I must confess. Yes, there is remarkable improvement. I can acknowledge that. But where the problem lies is most transformers are overloaded. And when it drops, when some fails, the response is not rapid. It's always very, very sluggish. Then in terms of tariff, government should try to subsidize electricity for the citizens. If this economy will thrive, 200 and something naira per, what is that, kilowatts or whatever, is so outrageous in the current economy. Many Nigerians are poor.
It's necessarily affecting us. Everybody is not comfortable. The business is affecting, livelihood is affecting, because when there's light, when there's electricity available, a lot of it takes shape. But when those things are not there, a lot of things will begin to dwindle, and many persons lives with the service of electricity. There are things you may not even use your generator to operate with. There are things you might use electricity to get into doing. But when those things are not there, it affects everybody. Even the consumers and the producers. It affects the whole structure of the society. So if those who are operating the electricity system in our society will now begin to understand that they are serving people, and the people know what they are doing, we are interested, we want to use these things for our daily well-being, then things will begin to flow very well.
Personally, I'm not satisfied in any way. Because, you see, sometimes it will take some time before they will bring the light. Sometimes they will bring it in a epileptic way, yet they still collect their money. They don't miss to collect their money. So for me, I'm not satisfied. I think they have to do some kind of reforms in their ministry, or whatever I should call it. Understand? Because it's not the consumers that will come and do whatever that is necessary to be done. It's the power authority. They are the people that will have to do something to improve the supply. But people are not getting the regular supply needed, but they collect money on a regular basis.
We have constant light, but the tariff is actually expensive. And I don't know about other people that could not or cannot afford tariff, how they are actually managing. They should reduce it a little. The amount for buying unit of light, they should bring it down a little. Though I'm impressed with the amount of light we are getting currently, but it's too expensive, to be honest.
From Lagos to Enugu, Nigerians share their thoughts on the state of electricity today. Whether it's consistent power or consistent outrage, one thing is clear: electricity remains a top concern. We want to hear from you. Comment below, let us know your experience. Chinaza Ifeanyi, Aneke TV.
Love, that sweet feeling that makes your heart race, your palms sweat, and your phone screen light up at midnight. This Valentine's season, love is not just in the air, love is on your screen. Aneke TV proudly presents a special Valentine program made just for you. Whether you're madly in love, healing from heartbreak, thinking of marriage, or still asking, is this really my person? Aneke TV has something for your heart. Get ready for real conversations, sweet love stories, relationship basketballs, and marriage truths nobody told you about. From dating in today's world to keeping the spark alive to building a marriage that actually works, we are breaking it down, heart to heart, no filters. Expect laughter, expect tears, and expect moments that will make you say, "Ah." Now maybe this. Well, this Valentine is not just about flowers and chocolate. It's about connection. It's about commitment. And it's about choosing love every single day. Do you know what to do? Grab your partner, tag your crush, call your spouse, or just cuddle up with your pillow. Because Aneke TV is serving love premium style. Don't miss this Valentine special on Aneke TV. We are having the best of them and the men them. Mr. West.
Momo, Momo, hey, them call me Momo. I don't need sense to love, oh. Your love makes me a happy Momo. I am a Momo. I'm not saying, I'm not saying love and Momo has anything to do in common, but no. What I'm saying is that you know you don't do love and logic together. You have to pick one. Either you love or you are a logic and critical thinker. You can combine both. It will not work. So what am I saying in essence? Come 14th February, I will be live on Aneke TV, on YouTube. Yes, YouTube, Aneke TV. I will be live with Commissioner of Enjoyment, Good Hope himself, and some other amazing young people to talk about Valentine, to talk about love, to talk about the best practices surrounding Valentine and love. Don't miss it for anything, please. Aneke TV on YouTube with West and Good Hope.
Mazio Wanile.
Yeah, what's good, boy people? This is your boy Mazio Wanile. Nwa mono konwa anyere ndo kana Lesotho. Ofoye, Ofonwa. The only boy not believe in love, but love equally believe in him. See, on the 1st of February, I will be live on Aneke TV and I will be chilling with Commissioner of Enjoyment, the man that may call the Good Hope. Biakai Paliano, why you will be banter. That your love, that your palaba, nge fetching them of a law will call bar.
Social lawyer, the red pepper.
What's up, my people? It's your home girl, official social lawyer, popularly called Red Pepper. I'm being called Red Pepper. This is the season of love, and you know what it is. Everywhere is painted red. We're gonna send some love message, and you know the 14th February is around the corner, and this is the time where we share our love message, and we have the likes of Minister of Enjoyment for enjoyment. We have the likes of Marzi. We have the likes of West of Good Life, and you have the likes of official social lawyer Red Pepper on 13th of February to dish out some hot love dose contradiction opinions about what Valentine is all about. And I know you guys should not miss it. We're going to be live on Aneke TV on 13th of February on Friday by 2 p.m. I know, and I don't want to look for you. Stay tuned.
And the Anchor Commissioner for Enjoyment. Hello, what's up, Enugu? What's up, Coal City? Is your one and only Commissioner of Enjoyment. And I'm doing this today to tell you that we are going to be live here on 13th of February, just this Friday, to deal on that Valentine rave, man. We are ready for you. We are ready for the guys, and we are ready for the men who are coming my way. And I'm telling you that we're going to be here with men them. When I talk about men them, I'm talking about Mr. West, I'm talking about social lawyer, the Red Pepper, and I'm also talking about Mazio Wanile. I'm going to host these guys, and we're going to talk about love, Valentine, fun, and how it is. Again, people get back, wow, because this life, you got to know what it is and how it is happening. And that's why I say, let me just let you know, you are invited to that wonderful show. I want to see you, and stay tuned for that day. Time is 2 p.m. bro. When it's 2 p.m., let's rock and roll, because you are amazing and you will learn how to love. Got it? You're gonna have this rave on Valentine. Have a wonderful time as we bring you the best on 13th of February. 2 p.m. till Mama calls. Yes, we are ready on Aneke TV for this Valentine. Stay tuned.
Osai, wherever you are, at home, in your office or in traffic, thank you for letting us into your space this beautiful morning. We're here to refresh, inform, and motivate.
Yes, and today is Thursday, 12th February 2026, and we've got your power-packed morning today here on Sunrise, where we've got our latest news, what's trending, and of course that special Sunrise vibe. We'll be starting off with our quote of the day. With was that inspiring, was that thoughtful, words that offer insights to whatever we do to keep us focused, stay well-driven, and also be motivated.
Then, it's straight into the day top headline. All the key news update that you need to remain informed will be shared, hot, and tasty.
Yes, and after that, we'll be giving you our full weather forecast for today, covering cities across the southeast and beyond, so you'd know what to expect before stepping out, or if you've stepped out already, it is to keep you throughout the rest of the day.
And later, we'll wrap things up by giving you our business update and bringing the man of many parts, the sports oracle, commissioner of enjoyment, the man who prides himself as the mental mechanic.
All right, now moving over to our morning show inspiration segment. Now, morning show inspiration segment is coming from Washington Irving, and in his quote, he says, "A sharp tongue is the only edged tool that grows keener with constant use." I'm going to take that quote again. He says, "A sharp tongue is the only edged tool that grows keener with constant use." Now, when he says a sharp tongue, he's referring to a person who speaks harshly, sarcastically, or cruelly. By calling it an edged tool, he compares words to a weapon, something that can cut, wound, and cause lasting damage. Unlike physical tools that become dull with overuse, a sharp tongue becomes even more harmful the more it is used, because habitual harsh speech sharpens a person's ability to insult, criticize, or hurt others. So in simple terms, this quote is reminding us that constant negative or biting speech doesn't fade away. It grows stronger and more destructive. And also, it also encourages self-control, that we should have self-control, we should have kindness in communication and awareness that our words can harm just as deeply as a physical action. So whatever we're telling anybody, we should mind the words we use. We should mind the way we say something to people, because words tend to hurt more than physical hurting. Mr. Ocha, I would like to know your thoughts on this also.
All right. The quote this morning is as sharp as the quote itself, speaking about the tongue. Ivan this morning is telling us that a sharp tongue is the only edge tool that grows keener with constant use, telling us to be cautious on how we use our tongue. The tongue, like a sword, can also as well cut us under. It's a two-edged sword. It can make or mar destinies. With the tongue, when you go to the good book, it tells you that with the word, that the word was framed, speaking to the aeon, the ability to use your words to frame your word. With your words, you can alter how the flow of things goes. So the word becomes powerful. It then means that the tongue is like the rudder that, moves the ship. The tongue is the most powerful organ of the body, because it has in it the ability to make or mar anybody, any destiny, any situation. However, I like to use this opportunity to, in speaking to the power of the tongue and how we use it, we can and we should be able to use it to speak to issues, especially at this time when speaking up matters to this nation. It's time for us to use our tongue, frame our words, use it to cut those who oppose the prosperity and the moving electoral movement of this nation forward. By cutting them in line with our tongue is a time where we need to frame our frame our words to be like the sword that will cut in line whoever opposes electoral reform for this nation. So all of us Nigerians are invited, because we have in us the power to make changes, and the only way we can do that is to utilize this weapon that Ivan is telling us this morning, to speak, cut in line those who are opposed to this electoral prosperity of this nation, moving the country beyond where we were in 2022 to a better Nigeria in 2027. At least with that, we can have electoral credibility, have an election that will be said to be free, fair, and credible. And the only tool in our hand this time is our tongue. So it's time for us to cut asunder any and everyone who oppose to the electoral prosperity of this nation. However, in coming back, we should be cautious on how we equally wield that sword, especially to people around us. Just like you rightly observed, your words can make or mar the people around you. And how you use it, how you frame it, matters. Be cautious of what comes up, because you may be unable, irrespective of remorse, time and place, take it back. So be cautious how you use it. It is the most powerful organ of the body and can cut in line or cut asunder. So we should be cautious, and that's what Ivan this morning cautioned us to be self-aware on how we wield this tool, because it can make a destiny or mar a destiny. When spoken, when vomited, may be unable to take back. So what do? Use it judiciously, use it wisely in moving forward, in conversing with people. But let it be a tool that make people around you irrespective of situation. So Ivan this morning, beyond letting us know that this is a weapon, we should, like the swordsman, be able to wield it professionally and carefully, knowing that he has in it the power not just to cut and open it, but to equally cut us to shreds as well. So what we need to do from now onwards is to master how to use our words, how to pilot our tongue moving forward, so that we do not use it to destroy the people, circumstances, situation around us. It can be used for good. And this morning on Sunrise, we are telling you, beyond mastering how to use it judiciously, use it for positivism, use it for the good of this nation. Do not be silent in this hour of need, where voices need to be heard, where everyone needs to speak for the good of this nation. Is a time where Nigeria is on the crossroad, and the only thing that matters is that we use that tongue judiciously for the prosperity of this nation. Because without electoral victory, electoral credibility, this nation stands still and may be unable to move forward for the generation next. Let us stand to be counted. Speak, let your word be remembered, for it's a matter of urgency, is in a time of need. So, like Ivan has advised us this morning, we'll have a powerful tool in our hand. We'll have a weapon that would cut in line those who are opposed to this electoral reform, known as the electoral prosperity of this nation, moving into 2027. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that. And also, while you're doing so, while you're having self-control to the way you speak, while you're using kindness to communicate, also keep in mind that each new sunrise is a platform, is an opportunity where we grow, where we simply stay more present in whatever we do. Now, let us know what this quote means to you. You can reach us on our social media platforms, all at Aneke TV, or call our phone number 070-3043-7110. And up next is our weather report for today.
Yes, we'll take a look at the weather report across major cities in the southeast this morning.
And we'll be starting off with Orca. The wake-up call today in Orca is going to be sunny to partly cloudy with highs climbing into the low to mid 30 degrees Celsius, think around 31 to 32 degrees Celsius under that lovely golden sun. Expect light humidity and just a few clouds drifting by. There's very little chance of rain, so sunglasses are not just stylish, they are essential.
And good morning, the coal city. Over to Enugu. The weather this morning is a forecast of warmth with sunny spells and gentle clouds. Temperatures nudging into the mid 30 degrees Celsius shortly after sunrise. While isolated clouds may wander through, rain isn't expected to crash the party.
And in Abakaliki is turning up the heat today, so expect hot and mostly dry conditions with the mercury flirting with the high 30 degrees Celsius as the sun climbs high. With plenty of sunshine and only a small chance of showers, it's a day for light clothes and lots of hydration.
And good morning, Imo State. Moving over to my favorite city of Owerri. Owerri, how are you this morning? Today's theme is toasty and bright with sunshine dominating the sky and temperatures rising to the mid 30 degrees Celsius. Feel just right for a breezy walk or some early market runs. Just keep the animals cool too.
And in Umahia, you're waking up to clear skies and toasty air. Today's temperature will push up toward the low to mid 30 degrees Celsius with sunshine leading the forecast and only minimal clouds showing face, which is a great day for outdoor plants, but don't forget to stay hydrated.
So, wherever you are in the southeast today, stay safe, stay cool, dress light, but do remember that either rain or shine, we've got you covered. And this is your weather report here on Sunrise on Aneke TV. We'll go on a short break and we'll return with more news update.
Every second, the world changes, markets rise, leaders speak, stories unfold. To keep up, you don't just need news, you need clarity, you need speed, you need perspective.
That's why Aneke TV brings you the global pulse. Accurate, reliable, right when it matters most. Aneke TV. Move with the world.
You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV. Now we're taking a look at our newspapers for today for our newspaper review segment. And now it's going to be coming from The Nation, Punch, Vanguard and The Guardian paper.
And joining us this morning also is Mr. Goodhope, the man of many parts, the sports oracle himself. Mr. Goodhope, it's good to see you on Sunrise this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. You're welcome. All right.
All right, now moving over to our newspaper headlines. Our newspaper headline starting from The Nation paper. And The Nation paper says, alleged religious violation, Kwankwaso faces U.S. sanctions. And coming from the Punch newspaper, the Punch newspaper says, religious freedom for violations, APC and NPP back Kwankwaso as U.S. sanction tension rises. And from the Vanguard paper says, also on the Punch paper, Rufai participates arrest as police detains allies. And on the Vanguard paper, the Vanguard is saying, U.S. Rep proposed visa ban on Kwankwaso, Miyetti, Allah and others. Still on Vanguard paper, the Vanguard paper says Senate demands for implementation of defense budget warns against delays. And lastly on the Guardian paper, the Guardian says North decries 2027 policies despite insecurity, 4,654 deaths in 2025. And also now, our newspaper review is starting from the Vanguard paper that says U.S. reps propose visa ban on Kwankwaso, Miyetti Allah and others. Okay, now the Vanguard paper is reporting that jumping straight to the defense line, making All Progressive Congress In a development shaking political circles, a group of U.S. lawmakers has introduced a bill in the United States Congress that seeks to impose targeted sanctions, including visa ban, asset freezes on former Kano Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, alongside leaders of the Miyetti Allah cattle breeders, associations and other groups, citing alleged violation of religious freedom in Nigeria. Now, the proposed Nigeria Religious Freedom and Accountability Act of 2026 claims these measures are needed in response to what its sponsors describe as ongoing persecution and mass atrocities against vulnerable religious communities. Mr. Aucha, I'd like to know your take.
All right. Seeing this headline, one may be, forced to think that actions are being taken against the sponsors of terrorism in Nigeria, and this been the cry for a long time that yes, that we should begin to prosecute the sponsors of terrorism or violators of religious act in Nigeria. But be that as it may, why that call has been on for a long time, even here in the studio we've been calling for the government to be courageous and bold to publish the list of terrorist sponsors in Nigeria or those who encourage the religious violation in Nigeria. But over time, we've not seen the government coming out categorically to publish this list, though we've seen pockets of individuals being prosecuted in Nigeria for terrorism-related offenses in Nigeria. But seeing this, headline this morning in the Vanguard newspaper, one is forced to, take a step back and then begin to ponder what prompts the U.S. at this point in time to begin to list and mention names, especially that of Kwankwaso at this point in time. And the question immediately I saw this headline, I asked is, why Kwankwaso? Why is Kwankwaso mentioned at this time? Yes, Miyetti Allah, when I see Miyetti Allah here, I'm not in doubt and I'm not surprised that Miyetti Allah is being mentioned when it comes to the violation of religious act in Nigeria. It is a known fact that Miyetti Allah has been in the forefront of advocating and advancing causes he believes in, especially when it comes to issues around elders and farmers clashes in Nigeria. One would categorically state that the Miyetti Allah can be absolved or is said to be innocent. So when you see when government beyond Nigeria are beginning to take stand against Miyetti Allah, one should stand stoically to celebrate such move, especially when you remember the position of Boativ when there was an attack in Benue State, speaking to these issues and the role of Miyetti Allah, especially given threats that Miyetti Allah have, issued against individuals over time. You will say that one would be, correct to say that Miyetti Allah is not innocent of all allegation, but I repeat, why Kwankwaso? Then if we go back through memory lane, history serves us right. What is the issue here? We've seen reps in the US, Chris Smith, Red Moore, and co sponsoring a bill, tagged the Nigeria Religious Freedom and Accountability Act of 2026. What is fueling this? I will date back to the issue of Sharia in Nigeria, dating back to around 1999, 2000, where Sharia law became an issue in Nigeria, where certain states in Nigeria, starting from Zamfara State, started promoting the Sharia code as a penal code in northern Nigeria. And Kwankwaso at this time, will you remember, was the governor of Kano State, where equally he told the line of installing Sharia as the penal code in Kano at this time. But be that as it may, it's been long gone, 2000 till date. And the question I asked, why has the United States kept quiet all along? When you check calculate from 2000 to today, there's been a lot of water has passed under the bridge. So why resurrect the issue at this point in time when they refuse to speak at that point in time? So the question to ask at this time is, what is at stake? Why Kwankwaso? That is not to say that Kwankwaso is innocent of any crime, but we are saying, why did they remain silent for such a long time? And prompt me to ask, like a lot of individuals, are we seeing this as a result of the work of lobbyists in United States of America who wants to rope in certain opposition in bad light. That's an angle that many would want to explore, and that's not to say that one is exonerating Kwakwaso or towing the lines of the NNPP or the Kwakwasia movement. But the historic question remains, why has this US remained silent till this hour and is beginning to speak up? Because this, when you remember the issue of Sharia and the crisis that this entrusted upon this nation from 2000, I remember quite well that many non-indigenous had to flee from Jigawa State, from Zamfara, from Sokoto, from Kano to their place of origin as a result of anticipated crisis and chaos that was emanating from issues around Sharia. Thank goodness for the way the then President Olusegun Obasanjo handled the issue, choosing to keep mum, and not to fight against the governors then who were promoting. You remember Governor Yerima of Zamfara State at that time, who were the promoters of Sharia as the main, customary law of northern Nigeria at this time, which was against a multiple ethnic representation of states in Nigeria, especially given states like Kano, Zamfara, where you have non-Muslims at a large population in those states. So, that situation then was a serious situation to behold in a multilateral ethnic, coloration that Nigeria is and represents. But be that as it may, we would thank the way the then president handled this issue, but it did culminate to a situation that would have, aggravated to a Somalia type of situation if it was not well handled. But what we are saying is at this point in time that we've moved away from there, and beyond that, we are facing other issues like terrorism, banditry, and other kidnapping cases. So why are we seeing this issue here? If I had read that Kwankwaso is being accused for sponsoring terrorism beyond his role in enthronement of Sharia law, which then I remember quite well that he did promise that Sharia will not affect non-Christians in his domain, even though the letter it wasn't that way, as we knew that Hizbah was operating in areas outside the Muslim enclave like Sabongiri, where there was ban on alcohol. Alcoholic beverages were being seized and destroyed as at that time. But what one wants to see is evidence-based issues that he, Kwankwaso, is a sponsor of terrorism in Nigeria beyond his role as a then governor of Kano State, and that's what many want to see. And I bet Nigerian would come out publicly to defend him if he is proven to be in bed with terrorists, bandits, or Islamists in Nigeria. But having stated that, one has to equally caution that this should not be a political maneuvering where lobbyists are influencing decision on the way the U.S. tilts towards this issue. Though one will remember the position of Kwankwaso when then President Donald Trump of the U.S. did declare Nigeria as a state of a particular concern, where Kwankwaso came out to say that that has to be an oversimplification of the characterization of Nigeria as internal challenges then. So one would not want to exonerate Kwankwaso. But what we are saying is that let it be evidence-based before the reps begin to advocate for visa ban, asset seizure, and all that. Give us proven facts beyond rhetoric at the floor of the house, you understand, away from the coloration or the tilting of lobbies. Let us see empirical facts, especially given the way now former Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, is being prosecuted for terrorism-related offenses. We want to see similar situation away from visa ban. When you buy him from moving to the US, he will still remain in the country, and if he is involved in nefarious activities, he would continue to be in bed with these terrorists. So what we are asking is that they come out away from the Magnitsky Human Rights Act and Accountability Act, give us empirical evidence, let the government be able to prosecute him if he has in any way sponsored terrorism. We do not want to see situations where issues are being politicized. A lot of people are beginning to give political coloration to a lot of happenings in Nigeria, and we need to be cautious of that. Be that as it may, yes, one would expect that the movement, the Kwankwasia movement, and the political party where he belongs to would come out publicly to critique and criticize the position of the US, over Kwankwaso on this. But like I did state, what we want to see is empirical facts, prosecutable, facts, so that such individuals will be clamped on, prosecuted, and jailed, so that they won't have the freedom to traverse the cities of this nation, and even with the boldness to ask for our votes in election. You remember that Kwankwaso was a prominent candidate in 2023, where he won over 1 million votes in Kano State. So such individuals should be, treated with the respect they deserve. But if they are found to be, terrorist sympathizers, terrorist sponsors, then come out with the evidence, let them be prosecuted. That's what we are calling for. That's what we are asking for. Beyond, visa ban and all this. And until we do that, we may not be able to settle the situation on hand. And I will still ask the question, and I beg for answer. Why now? Why Kwankwaso at this point in time? Because what we tend to see is the defeat of these terrorists, these bandits, who are causing carnage in Nigeria, unmask their sponsors, unmask the sources of their finance, and then cripple them. Good enough, we are seeing the collaboration with the United States government, but we don't want to see issues without proven facts in pages of newspaper. Be that as it may, then there is other school of thought who have the view that this scenario has been leaked to the governor of Kano State, who is a political son to Kwankwaso, prompting his defection from NNPP to APC, so that he wouldn't be involved in the hubris or the debris that as a fallout from this publication. But this is a developing story at this point in time. We will continue to monitor and follow and study the situation. But we hope that this will not be a result of lobbies, and at the end of the day, it all dies here. We want to see empirical facts. And if the senator, former governor, is in bed with terrorists, is a terrorist sympathizer, a terrorist sponsor, let him be prosecuted and jailed for it. That's the way to go. Let us not politicize it. No, there is a way around it, and that is the way of legality, based on, empirical evidence.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Now we're moving over to our next paper coming from The Guardian. The Guardian paper, the headline says, North decries 2027 politics despite insecurity, 4,654 deaths in 2025. Now from the North, leaders are decrying a troubling shift in priorities. They say too many politicians are already fixated on the 2027 elections, while violence and insecurity continues to claim lives. According to a new Nigerian Violent Conflicts Database 2025 report, 4,654 people were killed and 3,141 kidnapped nationwide last year due to terrorism, banditry, and communal clashes. The Arewa Consultative Forum criticized political jacking and called for urgent action to protect communities, keep schools open, and restore stability. Mr. Aucha, I would like to know your take on this.
All right. When you see headlines like this, it's a pointer to the situation we are in as a people. You cannot, separate the situation. But it's quite unfortunately, and I join my voice to that of the Arewa Consultative Forum in coming out to speak up at this point in time. This is a nation that is bleeding, is a nation that people are being killed even as we speak. As you wake up every day, you're confronted by news headline of killings in and around the nation. When you traverse North Central, Northwest, is a killing field. People are more than. The other day we were talking about Woro community, where the official number is 75. But when you encounter people who are eyewitnesses to this situation, they tell you that corpses litter the bushes away from the number that we are being given. Be that as it may, the issue of insecurity in Nigeria is not the first time, and this will not be the last time we speak about it. This is a very sorry situation that we are in, and yes, we'll keep speaking to finding a common solution to this very situation. Is deteriorating by the day, and when you look at the position of ACF, you see that it is justified, going by the fact that when we look at the number of people, that were killed, the official data available from 1,585 as at 2024, and coming to 2025 alone, that's away from the number of people who were kidnapped in that same year, beyond 3,000 persons that were kidnapped. And given this sorry situation where we are in, and you've seen intervention from the United States government, where they came on 25th December to target Sokoto State, in a precision strike, then one would expect that everything in Nigeria now should be conversation on how we secure our environment, how we secure our territory. As I speak to you, this is the only nation that I know that is not at war, where you have people who are in IDP camps. We are not talking about how we send them home. We are talking about how we accommodate more. And it becomes more situation because you have health, issues. Mortality rate is increasing. And we have people moving away from the farms. When you go to these hinterlands, move from Kwara State, for example, to Avas, to Katsina, move around. People can no longer access their farms. Community economies is being eroded. You no longer have the rural economy like we used to have it. Hinterlands, go there, and you get them from the farm. Is no longer one would think that at this point in time, away from the government of the day, the political parties, the opposition, that the conversation at this point in time should be how to enthrone and ensure peace in Nigeria. What we should do as a people to see that we defeat terrorism, we defeat the Islamists, we defeat bandits who have taken over our land, who have turned us into crisis. And I tell you, the president is telling us this morning as well. We were speaking about, we are still in 2026. The headline is being dominated by political talks. Everything that we speak to and hear is succession plan. Which party takes over from which? So it becomes a very sorry situation. But be that as it may, we will continue to probe these issues, and the cries of the ACF is not far-fetched.
All right, thank you. Well, we're going on a short break, and please stay tuned. We'll come up with more updates.
Every second, the world changes, markets rise, leaders speak, stories unfold. To keep up, you don't just need news, you need clarity, you need speed, you need perspective.
That's why Aneke TV brings you the global pulse. Accurate, reliable, right when it matters most. Aneke TV. Move with the world.
Allies. In a According to a confidential memo he sent ahead of his homecoming, El-Rufai claims there's a politically motivated plot to detain him and some of his allies, despite no formal charges over being brought against him after previous government investigations. El-Rufai says some political persecutions appear selective and tied to his outspoken criticism of current leadership, marking another tense moment in Nigeria's evolving political drama. Mr. Alcha, I would like to know your take on this headline.
All right. Before speaking to that very issue, one thing that comes to mind, and that's not to, chase away from the issue at hand, but it tells you the transient nature of power. And that's why we need to caution, our leaders, political office holders. They should be mindful of what they do when they are in power, when they hold sway. And that is to say, you need to be like Caesar's wife. You come to equity with clean hands. That's what it ought to be. And that's what will stand for you and speak for you when you are away from power. Be that as it may, today we are speaking for El-Rufai. Not that we are holding for him, but you can see that he is beginning to cry out, a very powerful former minister, former governor of Kaduna State, now afraid of being detained, or not to say, crying out that he may be detained. Let me not use the word that he is afraid. He may not be scared of being detained, but the issue is that power is transient. He is no longer in power. He was very powerful governor, coming into 2015 and beyond. But today, the reverse is the case. And in a situation where a former powerful governor is so scared or speaks to, being arrested in Nigeria, has a lot of undertone. But the question here is, are we obeying rule of law in Nigeria? And in a situation or in a democracy where there's rule of law, where you obey the dictates of the rule of law, people wouldn't be scared of, of arrest based on a politically motivated arrest. When people are arrested, it should be on issue, factual issues with empirical evidence that is quite and very prosecutable. But be that as it may, we've seen El-Rufai, beginning to cry out loud of a possible arrest if he returns to the country. I know he's on educational sabbatical, if I may, in Egypt. He's away from the country, but he's been, speaking loudly from Egypt, especially as regards the issue of electoral reform and all that. Then the question one may want to ask is, what happened? Where did things go wrong? Because I know that the former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, was an ally of this current president. Remember the conference at Chatham House, where he seemed to be the spokesperson for this president, where he campaigned gallantly and effortlessly for this president, to enthrone the APC back into power come the last election between 2022 and 2023. So one, is forced to ask, where did they, begin to go their different ways? Be that as it may, he is now crying out, a former ally. Now he has decamped from APC, moved to ADC. He's now in the opposition, and he is saying that yes, the opposition are being climbed upon, that a lot of Nigerians are now making decisions not out of conviction but based on survival. And I tell you, that will be a sorry state, which is why I alluded to democracy being a situation or a government or a process where you have to heed and obey the rule of law. When the rule of law is the number one rule of engagement, people wouldn't be, scared to critique or criticize the government, because criticism, we know, is part of democracy, and people shouldn't be afraid to speak, out against policies of government. When you critique the government on issues, and that should be the bane of opposition everywhere. Not a situation where people should be scared of speaking out in a democratic government. And if that's the situation, then it's a sorry situation to be in. And the government of the day should be cautioned that power is transient. Today, it could be the opposition, but they should remember that a time will come when they will be in opposition. It's not a situation of the PDP then, where the then PDP party chairman, I remember Vincent Obulafor told us that PDP will rule as the largest political party in Africa for the next 60 years. Where is PDP today? PDP is decimated, fragmented, in chaos, in crisis, and we do not know if they will rebound from there or go to Rumokoro or from there to Ibadan. So we don't know where they will move from here, where they are now, or what will bury is the carcass of the PDP. If they do resurrect, So, glory be to God. And what I'm saying is that APC should learn and cue from the nature and position of PDP today, because they may have similar fate waiting for them in nearest future if they are out of power. So it matters what you do with power when you have it. The people you harm today for critiquing the affairs of government today may be at the helm of affairs tomorrow, and they may metal out the same fate against you. And I, for one, I do not expect the current leadership that we have, because this is a leadership that is said to be seasoned in opposition, who are inured and imbued in democratic process. The president is said to be a pure and total Democrat. He was part of the NADECO that fought for a return to democracy in Nigeria. So I do not see any anti-democratic tendencies around him, which is why we caution that even the people around Mr. President and those in power today need to be very cautious how they wield power today. Erifa is complaining because, according to him, a lot of his allies are being hounded and arrested. So, he said about 4 of them are already arrested, and there's possibility that once he touches down in Nigeria, he too will be arrested. Let him be arrested on facts. If he has committed any offense, take him to court. Yeah. People shouldn't be hounded based on opposition or their stance against the government. And another case in hand, though we are celebrating, we wait to see how it pans out in court, is the former Attorney General of the Federation, who has been, who is being prosecuted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission for abuse of his office and money laundering. Again, he's been in custody of the state security for allegation of sponsoring terrorism and holding of catchments of arms in his country home. And we are saying, yes, if these issues are based on available evidence, let them be prosecuted. But it should not be a situation where it is the opposition that is being targeted. It won't augur well for democracy anywhere, and it's within the constitutional right of the former governor to cry out loud, of a possible arrest. Yeah. And we advise this government, like I've always said, let it be on issue based. If somebody has committed a crime, arrest the person, prosecute the person judiciously, legally, before the law. Nigeria is a nation of rules. Let us obey the rules of law, and the rules of law should be the rules of engagement. Away from that, politics, democracy is sweet because we have opposition. We do not have Hitler's kind of Germany. No. That's not what we are in. We are a democratic nation, and we should be seen to do so by practicing, believing, exhibiting every tendencies as is inured and imbued in our constitution as regards the rule of law. When one has seen to be committed an offense, let him be prosecuted. If found guilty, let him serve his term. But we shouldn't hound opposition in Nigeria. It shouldn't be heard of us, especially given the antecedents of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whom we know, we've read his profile as a pure and thorough Democrat.
All right, thank you very much. Now moving over to our next paper coming from the Vanguard that said Senate demands full implementation of defense budget warns against delays. Now turning to national security, Nigeria's Senate is sending a clear message. The defense budget must not gather dust on paper, it must be put to work in the field. During a recent budget defense session, lawmakers pressured the government to fully and promptly implement the defense budget, warning that delays could weaken the nation's response on insecurity and embolden criminals and insurgents. Senators stressed that the armed forces need timely funding and equipment to protect Nigeria's a stance backed by continued donations of resources and manpower to the security sector. Mr. Ocha, I would like to know your take.
All right. Security issues are quite sensitive, and given where we are as a people now, given the state of security in Nigeria, it should be, a primary concern of all concerned to see that the issue around security is tamed, that we are able to, have a handle on the security situation in Nigeria. Yeah. So if the Senate demands full implementation of the defense budget, warning against delay, it tells you the urgency of the moment. Yes. Remember that we've cited the issues around Nigeria, where we see in Woro, people are killed, move away from Woro, go over local government in Kwara State, Niger State, Katsina. A lot of communities, people don't go to the farms again. People can't sleep in their home. People are moving away from their communities to the cities as a result of the actions of these terrorists, these bandits, where we are seeing Islamists, who wants to preach their own version of Islam, and in fact enforce it on people. We don't know if what we are witnessing is another, Uthman Dafodio's jihad on Nigeria, or is just a disgruntled, element who wants to take over opportunity by getting ransom, maiming, and killing. But the situation is that the Nigerian security challenge has become a global issue. When you look at where we are as a people, this is a nation where people were, it is said that we are run the most terrorized nation. When you compare Iran and the rest of the countries, we are beginning to climb at that level with these nations that are known as terrorist or terrorized nation. Yeah. In Nigeria, they said about 2%, people die as a result of religious violation or terrorism acts. So be that as it may, one will not be surprised when you see the Senate are demanding full implementation of security budget. Remember what happens in this nation. A number of times you see haphazard implementation of budgets where people, do not keep to the details of the budget. A lot of time you see misapplication, mark my word, misapplication of funds, when it comes to budgeting and all that. The people do not apply these funds specifically to, what it is meant for. And the Senate is right in demanding full implementation of defense budget, because you've seen since 2025, there's been an increase on what we allocate to our defense budgeting. See, around 2025, we had about 4.91 trillion allocated to budgeting, to security budget. And in 2024, we've seen an 11% increment on that, right? So, yeah, we've had about 5.91 or thereabout, or 41 trillion on security. And when you break it down, you see that this money is allocated to defense, police affairs, intelligence gathering, the office of the ONSA, and all that. And it is worrisome if we do not implement this budget to the letter, given the security scenario that we are witnessing. We'll have a situation where we are told that these insurgents are able to use drones, they are able to map the movement of our troops through the use of satellite imaging and all that. So it then tells you that Nigeria needs to, double its budgeting, but beyond doubling the budgeting, it has to be a judicious implementation, of what is budgeted for security. You need to increase not just manpower, remuneration, welfare of personnel who are at the theater of operation. You need to equally increase your equipment in terms of drones. You have to match these bandits aura for aura. You have to match them whatever capacity, whatever game they employ. We need to double that digit as well. We need to bring in equipments, drones. Yes, the other day the Air Force, we are celebrating the, the redeployment of a Super Puma jet, into operation. Beyond that, we need to receive new equipments. This is where we need to budget more, and when it is budgeted, even if it's in importation of more catchment of arms and all that, it has to be carried out to the letter. If the Senate, in its wisdom, has sat to approve the budget of the executive on security, and given the crisis-laden security nature this nation has found itself, then we need to implement to the letter. And I may be sorry if I told what I may term as an extreme position on this issue. If anyone is seen not to implement the budget, they should be outrightly prosecuted, given the dicey nature of security issues in Nigeria at this point in time. This is a nation where people no longer travel freely. This is a nation where people no longer go to the farms freely. This is a nation where bandits are doing TikTok from the forest, and sending them out. This is a nation where bandits, they brandish the ransom they receive from kidnapping activities. So we cannot seem not to implement this budget in total. No, it shouldn't be business as usual, where we misapply, funds to other issues, where at the end of the budgetary year, you will see that so and so amount has not been implemented. And I encourage the federal government as well, if the Senate has approved, earmarked amounts for security, finance should move ahead and disburse with urgency. And when it's being disbursed, let it be judiciously used and applied where necessary. And most importantly for me, and I'm happy that I saw that in the budget as well, speaking to the defense budget and all that, has to do with the welfare of officers. That is paramount if we are to win the battle against terrorism in Nigeria. The welfare of the personnel who are the theater is paramount. Our soldiers, our intelligence units, the police who are all involved, we need to holistically take care of their welfare. That should equally be paramount and implemented. And where necessary, there should be an increment in allowance and insurance as well. So it is a very heartwarming one to see the Senate demanding full implementation of defense budgets and warning against delays. And like I did say, if at the end of the day anybody should delay this budget, if we see at the end of the day that it wasn't fully implemented or there was a misapplication, such individual should be prosecuted as enemy of the state. Yeah. Because there's no reason at this point in time, because I tell you categorically that this nation is at war. Beyond what we've witnessed from pre-2015 to date, there's not been a time where Nigeria is in such a precarious state. So we need to holistically confront these issues, starting from the budgeting implementation. It shouldn't be business as usual, like I did mention. Yes, we should implement the budget, and I clap for the Senate for making a demand that it be implemented after they've approved of it. Yes, we should. Funds should not be the issue. If budgeting has been given, implementation shouldn't be a deterrent here. Let us implement, and implement. The situation where we are is where if there is need for a supplementary budget on security, it should be approved with haste so far as we are seeing results in the field. And that is what matters.
All right, thank you very much for that. And this is all for today's newspaper review here on Sunrise. Please do not forget to grab physical copies from any of your favorite vendor or card the e-paper online for more broader information. Now up next is our sports update from the man himself, Good Hope, the sports oracle.
All right, thank you very much. Today in the world of sports, first of all, we are going to see how it is in newspaper headlines, what is actually happening, what it is and how it is today in the newspaper headline of sports. You have on the front page that Ademola Lookman, he's the one that is represented in the front page of the newspaper. He said that he's also targeting the Barca clash. Ademola Lookman targeting Barcelona clash, and this clash is coming up very shortly. It's one of the matches that we are expecting him to play and to do his best, of course. And by the right side, you could see I could have fought Joshua for 100 million, says Ferdinand. You know how boxing actually works. Boxing works that whether you win or you lose, there's a prize for you. And the prize is not just some small amount of money. It is in the millions, of course. People come together to sponsor this. In fact, people come together to sponsor that you lose. Well, we'll talk about that next time, or when we look into boxing generally. We have one of the trending news this morning is that Barca relaunch move for 80 million euros Osimhen. We were talking about it this morning that Barcelona has relaunched their bid for Victor Osimhen, and Galatasaray, who he is currently playing for, they have actually kept him on. That his release clause currently is 80 million euros. Now, I'm not sure that this 80 million euros is enough, if you could ask me, because Osimhen right now is at the top level of his game. You can compare him with Erling Haaland. You can actually compare Osimhen with a lot of other world-class strikers. But maybe because he's an African or something, and we have seen that happen. That's why we can judge, because we've seen it happen over and over again, where African players, their prices are being reduced. maybe because of injuries or fears of what not. But we are not sure. That's why we cannot conclude. So that's why we move on from that. It's on the newspaper. West Ham plot Chukwueze Soma hijack. You know, Chukwueze is currently at Fulham, where he is on loan from AC Milan. So West Ham are looking forward to, hijack him. West Ham actually, they are on the relegation zone this season. What can only draw Chukwueze to go to West Ham would be the money that he would see, of course, or the conditions around the contract. Well, I'm telling you that if Chukwueze had his play or had his side, he would want to go back from what he said to AC Milan, where he came from, to loan in Fulham. But that same yesterday, Fulham actually lost to Manchester City. Manchester's away. Manchester City yesterday trashed Fulham 3-0, and the goals were first half goals. Erling Haaland scored, Nico O'Reilly scored, and it was a great match that they had yesterday. Manchester City had yesterday. Now, moving on in the same sports news and how it is in newspaper headlines, you see Chile on Marcel shortlist to replace De Zerbi, Roberto De Zerbi. Yesterday, Roberto De Zerbi parted ways with Olympique Marseille after they welcomed loanees from Arsenal and some other clubs. Now, Olympique Marseille actually are doing their best to ensure that they maintain their position or go further in the league. But yesterday they parted ways with the coach, and Eric Chelle came out the other day to say that he wants to coach Real Madrid. He wants to be the first African to coach Real Madrid. Not just that, yesterday on the same news, the president of NFF has announced that Eric Chelle has a long contract. So in case you're coming for him, you should know that he is busy. His hands are full. On that same news, we're having that he is already looking to move to Olympique Marseille. Well, we're going to see what happens at the end of the day when of course, the matter is going to unravel, and football is something that is very unpredictable. Goals scored are unpredictable, if though calculated, but we may see what that means. Well, still on the news, Maguire to sign new United contract. Maguire, when he came from Leicester City on the whooping sum of 80 million euros, he was transferred from Leicester City to Manchester United. He lost form, and he was even taken from the captain group, and he was Manchester United captain just much then. But what happened was that he could not continue, and that is to say that it did not stop him from delivering or being at his best. He delivered and was at his best. But he was not having the confidence unlike he is doing now. He's doing very well. So Manchester United are considering renewing his contract because they're considering him as one of the top performers and top key defenders from where they are going to build from into the next season. Now going down, you see Rudiger Ice Premier League returning, and Rashford out of Atletico Copa del Rey clash. Well, it's just about Rashford a little. Rashford, he has injury currently, and he's a loanee from Manchester United who went to Barcelona to play his game. Just at the nick of time, well, as Michael Carrick took over, it was said that Michael Carrick wants Rashford back. But the question is, where will Rashford feature? What will he play? Who will Marcus Rashford replace after his 3-season spell with Manchester United? And he was expelled from the team just because of issues around laziness, uncoordination, and no zeal to play for the team. Of course, you know that he is Dr. Marcus Rashford, and this is actually what it is, and this is how it is from what is happening. So we're expecting Marcus Rashford to, see himself doing best and doing well this season, basically, and that is how it is. Now, still on the newspaper headlines, we have Falcon stars gear up for WAFCON title defense. I told you a few weeks ago that our women are preparing for AFCON, and in that preparation, there's WAFCON. That WAFCON is where few countries come together to play a competition, and this WAFCON, just like one of the Super Eagles goalkeeper, one of the Falcons goalkeepers said the other day, that this WAFCON prepares them to play in the World Cup. It's just like a World Cup preparation for them because they are going to face the best teams. They're going to face Senegal. They're going to face Egypt. They're going to face top African teams in the competition. So they are expected to be at their best. That if they lose guard, there will be a problem, of course. So they are set to have this happen in the coming days. I told you that it will happen in February, but the main event will start in March and enter into April. Now let's move over to boxing. Adesanya hits at 2027 retirement date. Well, Adesanya made this announcement yesterday that he is considering to retire. You know that in the world of boxing, a lot of times people just like Joshua are Joshua that our own Anthony Joshua that had an accident in December, and due to losing some of his associates, he had to retire, and he is considering coming back again. The same thing with Adesanya. Though Adesanya had no accident, he's actually looking at just hanging the gloves here, because football we hang the boots, but when it comes to boxing we hang the gloves. He is considering just dropping this, and you know how these guys work. When they say they are retiring, they'll still come back for the fight, just like Usyk did when he announced in 2024 that he's not going to fight again. But you see him by April, he's going to come back to the rings to fight his favorite opponent. That's all in the world of sports. Thank you very much for that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that, the Oracle himself. And now we would like to say a big shout out to one of our very own, our director, our MCR director, Emmanuel Oladipupo. We have to say a big congratulations and a big happy +1 today. All of us on Sunrise are wishing you a very happy birthday and many more years ahead.
Yeah, many more healthy years and more money at your disposal, Mr. Emmanuel. Happy birthday. I hope we'll pop some champagne or some wine. Even if there's no wine, we'll pop water. But happy birthday to you,
Yeah,
Mr.
happy
Emmanuel.
birthday.
Yeah, we'll celebrate with you, and we invite all of you to join us in the celebration as well. Ima, happy birthday. Many more years, many more beautiful, healthy years, and most importantly, more money at your disposal. Yeah. And moving over to the business update, starting from and with Nigerian stock market. Yesterday, the Nigerian stock market maintained its strong bullish momentum. That's Wednesday, February 11, 2026, as investors continue to capitalize on recent reforms and strong sectorial performances. The All-Share Index ASI climbed further, reaching a new milestone of approximately 177,862.45 points, an intraday high, reflecting a steady gain of about 0.66% following yesterday's record-breaking surge. Market capitalization remained robust, hovering around the 113.5 trillion naira mark. The top 5 gainers, as we look into the breadth, which remained positive, we saw Nestle Nigeria closing its books yesterday at 2,420 naira, making a positive +10 adjustment. And we see Maya PLC closing its trading yesterday at 20 naira 90 kobo, equally in the positive +10% adjustment. Consolidated Hallmark closed trading yesterday at 4 naira 95 kobo, equally in the positive +10% adjustment. We are seeing FTN Coca processors, which closed trading yesterday at 0.33 kobo, making a positive +10 adjustment. And then CAP PLC, which closed trading yesterday at 99 naira 20 kobo, making a positive +9.98% adjustment. And looking at the top 5 losers, despite the overall bullish trend, some equities faced sell-offs and price correction. And the lead in this is Nemet International. Nemet, a pharmaceutical stock, closed trading yesterday at 12 naira 90 kobo, making a -9.15% adjustment. Then Legend Identity closed trading yesterday at 6 naira 20 kobo, equaling in the negative of 6.77%. We are seeing Universal Insurance closing trading at 1 naira 48 kobo in the negative of 6.33%. Then followed by Honeywell Floor. Honeywell Floor closed trading yesterday at 23 naira 95 kobo, equaling the negative of 5.15%. And then we saw the NGS Group closing trading yesterday at 112 naira, making a negative adjustment of minus 3.45%. Then looking at the sectoral performance, the industrial and energy sectors remain the primary drivers of the current rally, with names like Dangote Cement and MTN Nigeria maintaining high investors' interest. And looking at the trading volume, activities was high, with Tantalizers and Access Holdings being among the most actively traded stocks by volume. And then when we look at investors' sentiment, we saw that it remains strongly bullish, buoyed by recent Central Bank of Nigeria reforms and expectation for upcoming full-year audited financial results. And then we'll move over to the Naira. Here we'll take a look at the Naira performance for yesterday, Wednesday, February 11, 2026, where we saw that the Naira showed a strong and resilient performance, continuing its positive streak against the US dollar in both the official and informal market. Market stability is being driven by improved liquidity and the Central Bank of Nigeria's recent shift to the electronic foreign exchange matching system, which has helped narrow the gap between the two windows. And we saw the market yesterday at the official market, buying at the rate of 1,315 naira 25 kobo and selling at 1,359 naira 83 kobo, showing a steady stand. And at the informal market, or the parallel market known as the black market, we saw selling at 1,425 naira buying at 1,425 naira and selling at 1,440 naira. And when we look at the key performance highlights, we'll see that the naira opened, yes, very strong and remained remarkably stable throughout the morning session, and a significant improvement from the 1,400 plus level seen in late January. And then at the black market, or the parallel market, the local currency gained approximately 8 naira to 15 naira compared to earlier in the week. Traders in major hubs like Lagos and Abuja reported a softening of demand, which helped the naira strengthen. The spread between the official and black market rates has narrowed to one of its tiniest margin in recent months, signaling a reduction in speculative trading. And when we look at what's driving the market, we look at the EFEMS implementation, where the CBN's new electronic matching system is speeding up price discovery and reducing volatility. A more consistent supply of dollar for corporate bills has reduced the pressure on the informal market as well. And then when we look at speculation, we can tell you that there is a noticeable absence of hoarding, as many investors believe the naira has found a temporary floor. And that is it for today's business update. But do remember that before you make any financial investment, especially with the Nigerian stock market, please do well to consult a certified financial expert due to the volatility of the market. And the market is open and trading has commenced for today. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that. And this is all for today's edition on Sunrise here on Aneke TV. Please do not forget to follow us across our socials, all at Aneke TV, or call our phone number 070-3043-7110. It's always a pleasure having you here on Sunrise every morning. I am Deborah Mwakoba.
All right, and thank you, Mr. Goodhope, for that in-depth sports analysis. It's always a pleasure to have you here on Sunrise.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for coming. And I'm Uche Osai. On behalf of us, all of us here on Sunrise at Aneke TV, we'll say thank you for watching, and keep watching till we come your way. Same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Ohaneze Ndibo worldwide heartily congratulate two illustrious sons and a daughter of Alibo, namely Collins Obinna Chiweze, Shabuzi, Tyler Gregory Okoma, Tyler the Creator, and Cynthia Chinyasa Onyedimonazo Ukebu Erivo on their historic victories at the 68th Grammy Awards held on 2nd February 2026. Their remarkable achievements across diverse creative fields stand as a powerful testament to the creativity, resilience, excellence, and global relevance of Igbo talents. By proudly carrying their Igbo identities and names onto the world's most prestigious cultural stage, they have brought immense honor to Nigeria and to Nigerians everywhere. Speaking on behalf of the global Igbo nation, the President General of Ohaneze Ndibo Worldwide, Senator Azuta Mbata, stated, "These outstanding achievements reaffirm the timeless Igbo virtues of brilliance, hard work, innovation, courage, and perseverance. Our sons and daughters have once again demonstrated that wherever Ndi Igbo find themselves, excellence follows, and they hoist the flag of Nigeria. We celebrate these winners not only for their personal success, but for elevating the Igbo name as Nigerian citizens with dignity and pride before the world." Ohaneze Ndibo Worldwide thanks these award winners for being the worthy ambassadors of Igbo values and for inspiring millions of young people across the globe. Their journey sends a clear message to Igbo youth everywhere. Remain focused, law-abiding, resilient, and committed to excellence, knowing that integrity and perseverance can open doors on any global stage. As a people known for turning adversity into opportunity, Ndi Igbo remain proud contributors to national and global progress. Ohaneze Ndibo Worldwide urges the government, institutions, and stakeholders to continue investing in structures that nurture talent, creativity, and enterprise so that future successes may flourish both at home and abroad. Once again, we celebrate these historic victories and salute all Igbo youths who continue to project the values of Igbo with honor and distinction. Signed, Ezechi Chukwu, National Publicity Secretary, Ohaneze Ndibo Worldwide.
Love, that sweet feeling that makes your heart race, your palms sweat, and your phone screen light up at midnight. This Valentine's season, love is not just in the air, love is on your screen. Aneke TV proudly presents a special Valentine program made just for you. Whether you're madly in love, healing from heartbreak, thinking of marriage, or still asking, is this really my person? Aneke TV has something for your heart. Get ready for real conversations, sweet love stories, relationship basketballs, and marriage truths nobody told you about. From dating in today's world to keeping the spark alive to building a marriage that actually works, we are breaking it down, heart to heart, no filters. Expect laughter, expect tears, and expect moments that will make you say, "Ah, now maybe this." Well, this Valentine is not just about flowers and chocolate. It's about connection. It's about commitment. And it's about choosing love every single day. Do you know what to do? Grab your partner, tag your crush, call your spouse, or just cuddle up with your pillow. Because Aneke TV is serving love premium style. Don't miss this Valentine special on Aneke TV. We are having the best of them, and the men them Mr. West.
Momo, Momo, hey, them call me Momo. I don't need sense to love, oh. Your love makes me a happy Momo. I am a Momo. I'm not saying, I'm not saying love and Momo has anything to do in common, but no. What I'm saying is that you know you don't do love and logic together. You have to pick one. Either you love or you are a logic and critical thinker. You can combine both. It will not work. So what am I saying in essence? Come 14 February, I will be live on Aneke TV, on YouTube. Yes, YouTube, Aneke TV. I will be live with Commissioner of Enjoyment, Good Hope himself, and some other amazing young people to talk about Valentine, to talk about love, to talk about the best practices surrounding Valentine and love. Don't miss it for anything, please. Aneke TV on YouTube with West and Good Hope.
Mazio Wanile.
Yeah, what's good, boy people? This is your boy Mazio Wanine. Nwa mono konwa. Anyere ndo kana Lesotho. Ofoye, Ofonwa. The only boy not believe in love, but love equally believe in him. See, on the 1st of February, I will be live on Aneke TV and I will be chilling with Commissioner of Enjoyment, the man they call the Good Hope. Biakai Paliano, why? You will be banter. That your love.
Social lawyer, the Red Pepper.
What's up, my people? It's your home girl, official social lawyer, popularly called Red Pepper. I'm being called Red Pepper. This is the season of love, and you know what it is. Everywhere is painted red. We're gonna send some love message, and you know the 14th February is around the corner, and this is the time where we share our love message, and we have the likes of Minister of Enjoyment for enjoyment. We have the likes of Marzi. We have the likes of West of Good Life, and you have the likes of official social lawyer Red Pepper on 13th of February to dish out some hot love dose contradiction opinions about what Valentine is all about. And I know you guys should not miss it. We're going to be live on Aneke TV on 13th of February on Friday by 2 p.m. I know, and I don't want to look for you. Please stay tuned.
And the Anchor Commissioner for Enjoyment. Hello, what's up, Enugu? What's up, Coal City? Is your one and only Commissioner of Enjoyment. And I'm doing this today to tell you that we are going to be live here on 13th of February, just this Friday, to deal on that Valentine rave, man. We are ready for you. We are ready for the guys, and we are ready for the men who are coming my way. And I'm telling you that we're going to be here with men them. When I talk about men them, I'm talking about Mr. West, I'm talking about social lawyer, the Red Pepper, and I'm also talking about Mazio Wanile. I'm going to host these guys, and we're going to talk about love, Valentine, fun, and how it is. Again, people get back, wow, because this life, you got to know what it is and how it is happening. And that's why I say, let me just let you know, you are invited to that wonderful show. I want to see you, and stay tuned for that day. Time is 2 p.m. bro. When it's 2 p.m., let's rock and roll, because you are amazing and you will learn how to love. Cody. You're gonna have this rave on Valentine. Have a wonderful time as we bring you the best on 13th of February, 2 p.m. till Mama calls. Yes, we are ready on Aneke TV for this Valentine. Stay tuned.
Corruption in Nigeria is not limited to isolated scandals. It is systemic, deeply embedded, and sector-specific, affecting critical areas of governance, particularly oil and gas, power, the judiciary, and local government administration. These sectors highlight how weak oversight, institutional fragility, and accountability gaps continue to constrain national development. Nigeria's oil and gas sector, the backbone of the national economy, remains highly vulnerable to corruption. Despite contributing the largest share of government revenue and foreign exchange earnings, the sector faces challenges of opaque accountability, weak audits, and repeated allegations of under-remittance. Independent investigations into the period between 2011 and 2017 uncovered unresolved revenue discrepancies running into tens of billions of dollars. Crude oil sales, fuel subsidy claims, and joint venture arrangements have been particular areas of concern, while reforms like the commercialization of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and the Petroleum Industry Act were designed to improve transparency. Implementation gaps persist. Recent international asset recoveries, including over $50 million repatriated from the United States, illustrates the scale of past governance failures and the slow pace of accountability. The power sector also reflects the impact of weak governance on economic and social development. Since 1999, Nigeria has reportedly spent over $16 billion on interventions in electricity generation, transmission, and distribution. Yet, supply remains unreliable for a population exceeding 200 million. Audits indicate contract inflation, poor project supervision, and regulatory uncertainty as major challenges. Debt within the gas-to-power value chain has forced government bailouts and emergency payment to suppliers. Recent steps, including settlement of legacy gas debts, aim to stabilize the sector. But experts warn that without transparent procurement, stronger regulation, and disciplined subsidy management, energy insecurity will persist. The judiciary is critical in enforcing anti-corruption laws, but public confidence remains low. Surveys conducted by the National Bureau of Statistics and the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime show that judicial officers receive some of the highest average bribe payments among public officials. Perception studies consistently rank the judiciary among the most corrupt institutions, particularly in politically sensitive or high-value cases. Prolonged trials, frequent adjournments, and the procedural loopholes contribute to public skepticism. Legal analysts argue that stronger judicial discipline, improved remuneration, and institutional safeguards are essential to restore credibility. At the local government level, corruption directly affects citizens' daily lives. Councils responsible for primary health care, education, sanitation, and rural infrastructure are often cited in surveys for routine bribery and mismanagement. The National Bureau of Statistics reports that more than half of Nigerians interacting with public officials encounter demands for unofficial payment, particularly in local administration, policing, and utilities. Weak financial autonomy, political interference, and limited oversight exacerbate these problems, reinforcing distrust in government. Across all sectors, corruption thrives where institutions are weak. Oversight is limited and consequences are uncertain. While anti-corruption agencies report thousands of convictions and hundreds of millions of dollars in asset recoveries, experts stress that enforcement alone cannot fix systemic issues. Economic studies estimate that corruption costs Nigeria billions of dollars annually and could erode up to 37% of GDP by 2030 if reforms stall. Beyond economic loss, it undermines service delivery, widens inequality, and weakens democratic legitimacy. Policy analysts now advocate for
topical headlines, policies, conversation helping in shaping our nation. And today is no exceptional. In the heart of the Southeast, a political earthquake is underway. At its center is one man, Dr. Peter Mba. Just recently in Lagos, the governor of Enugu State was crowned the 2025 Sun Newspaper Man of the Year. To his supporters, the award is a long overdue receipt for a disruptive revolution. Citing a record-breaking 1.6 trillion naira budget, the rise of 260 smart green schools, a bold and controversial leap from the PDP to APC that has redefined the region's alignment with the center. But as the flashbulbs fade, the questions sharpen. Is this a genuine correlation of Nigeria's most ambitious reformer, or is it a high-gloss PR shield? Today, we are looking past the awards to the brewing debate over whether this Man of the Year title is a celebration of grassroots progress or the opening ceremony for a beyond 2027 national ambition. Today, we ask, is Peter Mba rewriting the rule book of governance or just perfecting the art of the political play? Joining us to unpack the facts, the politics, and what it means for Enugu and Nigeria is Dr. Ruben Onishi, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Enugu State on New Media. Doctor, it's a pleasure to have you one more time on The Insight.
Thank you very much, Ifeanyi.
All right. So, Doc, before I get to the question proper, what's happening?
What's happening is governance in Enugu State.
Governance.
What's happening is disruptive innovation.
Okay.
Taking governance to a very high pedestals. That's what's happening in Enugu State.
All right.
There is no dull moment.
All right. So let's dig into it.
All right.
For the Sun newspaper, Governor Mba is the Man of the Year, a crown for Enugu's renaissance or just digital dazzle?
It's not digital dazzle. It's rather a crown and a recognition of what the governor is doing. Because when you are working, whether you like it or not, people will see what you are doing. If you are not working, it will speak for you. If you are working, it will speak for you. So it's accumulation of governors' daring move into extraordinary governance. And that's what is going on. Sun newspaper, this is actually not the first time the governor is winning an award. Remember that when we came in, I think the first year, governor won Sun newspaper Governor of the Year award. Governor won New Telegraph Governor of the Year award. They titled that one Courage in Leadership. His Excellency also won the Vanguard News Governor of the Year award. And then again, Leadership newspaper, he also won Governor of the Year award. So it's been award galore because people cannot afford not to see what the governor is doing. It's a tremendous transformation of Enugu State in all ramifications.
Sorry,
So
come again.
which
Sorry,
is
come
crown.
again. Yes,
I
you made a
said-
statement.
I say it's a tremendous transformation of Enugu State in all ramifications.
In all ramifications.
In all ramifications, in all sectors, in multi-sectoral transformation, bringing disruptive innovation. Tell me that sector where the governor is not making impacts, and it's not as though he's singing his glory. All right, it's just that people cannot afford not to recognize this thing. The governor won Man of the Year award because of the development trajectories that he has, brought to bear. So, Sun newspaper giving him that award is something that is well deserved. Remember also that the governor won 2 awards in the presidency while we were still in the PDP. Excellence Award, presidency. The other one on SME, and the other one on, I think, excellent performance in governance. The presidency recognized this achievement even while we were still in PDP. Because the work will speak for itself. What it's doing is there. So that is what we encounter in Enugu here. In Enugu, you find out that we find it difficult to acknowledge what we are doing. Well, perhaps that's good because it helps us not to rest on our oars. Because the governor is upbeat, is really not interested in. Every day he's thinking out something. While you are still looking at the one he has done another. So what we find in Enugu State is that there is an opposition that is distraught, that has been unnerved. So what the opposition is doing is that they are running from pillar to post, clutching at the straws, trying to see where they could hold on to. They have held on to nothing. And then recently they started saying that the governor is from Ebonyi State and all that, this kind of those narratives. Is he from Ebonyi State? Of course, no. Owo, Amankano, Obaho, Amechidodo. These are fringe communities at the border. Owo is not even directly at the border. So it's quite very ridiculous. Someone is saying the governor is from Ebonyi State. If he's from Ebonyi State and he's working for Enugu State, is it not good? But this is what we find. When the opposition gets kind of locked up in, they tend to shift, and anything that they find they will grope in dark, and anything their hand holds, they just begin to, talk about it, and so quite very ridiculous, and I don't know what to call that. But what happens is that here in Enugu State, the governor is working and working good, and the work is showing and receiving international and local acclamation. As a matter of fact, if the governor were to collect all awards coming his way, every day we wouldn't have time. We will even leave work and then be collecting awards.
All right.
Because so many of them are coming, but His Excellency said no. He's rejecting so many awards. All right, but once in a while, something like Sun Award, Man of the Year, yeah, good.
So what makes the Sun Award special?
That's what I'm saying, that you can't keep on rejecting. Sun is a national newspaper. And if Sun gives you an award, of course, it's something that is of high value. All right. I'm not saying that other ones don't have value, but what I'm saying is that the governor cannot continue to receive all these awards, to keep on receiving awards. He gets to do nothing every day.
Distract from the job.
Distracts, yeah. So, but once in a while, like an annual award like that from the Sun newspaper, yeah, it's something that is what
all right. Before I go into the next question, for the sake of our audience, I call for the video on that award.
Okay.
The Man of the Year 2025, Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State. Your Excellency, congratulations, sir.
I would like to hand over this award for the governor that is feeding the ground, as confirmed by all Nigerians, not just me. He's feeding the ground. I think that is a better way of describing this governor. I've been with this governor a couple of times, and I hardly see a smile on his face. Can you smile? I want to congratulate you.
Thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me thank the board, management, editors, and not without mentioning the founder and the entire staff of Sun Publishing Limited for this award and for the honor that this award represents. I also want to congratulate all the awardees here tonight. Your achievement truly inspire excellence. You know that one is nothing without a team. Therefore, I receive this award on behalf of my team, on behalf of my team whose commitment, whose selfless work ethic and dedication to work have continued to translate our bold.
It's wonderful watching the governor receive that honor, that award. But, Doc, I ask, there's been a lot of issues. Why we celebrate that award? For recognition of Peter Mba's scorecard, a lot of people have argued that given the Nigerian climb, that awards in Nigeria are just that is a PR stunt. Something exchanges hands. Perhaps this may not be an exception.
It's quite ridiculous because, like I said, Peter Mba is not looking for any award. These awards come naturally to him as leaves would occur to a tree. He's not looking for any award. We don't go and buy award or anything. No, we don't do that. He doesn't even have time for award. Like I told you, he had rejected many awards. Many of them. He said, no, I don't need it. I don't need it. Even told, there was one that I even brought. Those people I call, I went to Oga and said, please, these people. He said, no, I don't take all these awards. You understand? So Mba is not even somebody who will go and buy award. Mba that is looking for money to do the head of. He's looking for more money to do the head of in Enugu State, and he will be the one to go and buy award. For what? Why would he buy award? What is he doing with that? There's nothing like that. He's looking for money. You all know the governor now. He doesn't give. Everything is project. We want to look. He's looking for money to do the unheard of things that are going on in his head, and you are talking about our ordinary award. Why would he have to go and buy an award? He doesn't have to do that. So let's keep that aside. He's not that kind of person that is looking for PR or this thing to prom. No. He's not. Right. I'm saying it honestly. He's not.
All right, Doc. Doc, let's look at the issues from lion building to water walk wonders. We'll look at the scorecard, which you want us to hold as a result of this award in recognition of this very scorecard. Yeah. Let's call it. Let's talk about these works. You've spoken eloquently about water. Give us insight into other wonders.
Well, when we start talking about what Mba is doing, where do we start? Do we start from Hotel Presidential, the revamping of moribund assets, Hotel Presidential? Do we start from Niger Gas? Do we start from flour mill, Sunrise Flour Mill? Do we start from Enugu International Hospital? Do we start from ICC? Where do we start? Do we start from the 260 smart schools? We are talking about 260. We're not just talking about 17 in the 17 local governments. We are talking about 260 in all the works already built. We are not talking about the type 2 hospital, bringing health care to the grassroots. 260. Look, we're not talking about 17, no. We are talking about 260 built simultaneously with the smart schools. Where do we start from? We are not talking about New Enugu City. We are not talking about Enugu A. Enugu A, you know that recently now brought another aircraft. And then we are looking at 3 within this year. And before you know, we are looking at a total of 20 fleets. So that we can fly African countries and Europe. Look, it takes a lion's heart to do all that the governor is doing. Someone that has the heart of a lion. Because if you are looking at Enugu State and the ostensible, paucity of funds, as it were, ordinarily another governor could have, shifted to the fact that there is no fund. Is it not? How much are we getting to FAC? And FAC is not even scratching the surface of what the governor wants to do. So it takes a governor who thinks out of the box to do what the governor is doing.
A governor who thinks out
of the box to even bring this disruptive innovation. Look at all the MDAs; they have all been migrated to e-platforms. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine came from Abuja. Somebody bought land and he wanted to do the land papers and all that. So he asked me. I said, "Go to NGs." He went to NGs and he was shouting. He called me yesterday. He was shouting. He said, "Within 5 minutes, I've received everything I wanted to receive. Within 5 minutes." He said it's never done anywhere, not in Lagos, not in Abuja, not anywhere. That he has never seen such a thing.
And it's happening in Enugu State.
And it's happening in Enugu State. Within 72 hours, you get your CFO. Where is that ever done? Where? He was shouting. In fact, I recorded the phone call because he was shouting. Ruby, you don't say that. This is never possible anywhere. But it is possible in Enugu. We are thinking possible. Anything is possible with Mba. I mean, why people are just thinking of this ones, he's thinking of more. He will pull a stone that nobody can imagine. That's what the governor is doing. With the preponderance of projects that he has unleashed, over 3,000 projects are being implemented. Some have been completed. Look at road infrastructure. Recently, the governor flagged off 1,022 roads in Enugu, which means all the roads in Enugu are marked for paving. Look at all the streets. Work is ongoing everywhere. All the streets. Where has it ever been done in the history of Enugu State? Let us even talk. Because I've not been talking all this while.
You have to talk.
Yes, you're on the inside. Yes.
On the inside,
I've not been talking all this while because when people come to talk nonsense, you let us even open up and see what the governor is doing, because he's been working quietly. He's been working quietly, doing this wonders quietly. He's not that kind of person that wants to be praised and all that, and people are taking it for granted. Don't take these works he's doing for granted, because he has done a lot and we can see them. Let our eyes open to what the governor is doing.
All right. You have to open up on these works. But speaking of disruptive innovation, let's take out what you mentioned. You spoke about Enugu International Hospital and Type 2 Hospital. Yes. I would want you to elaborate on that. Okay. But beyond that, I ask, why do we start new initiative in terms of Enugu International Hospital? Is it as a result of primary purpose for healthcare in Enugu State, rather than invest that fund into the Enugu State Teaching Hospital, Parkland, which seems to be the pivotal for healthcare in Enugu State under the custody of the Enugu State government?
You see, that's why I say that the governor is doing wonders, because a whole lot of things are going on at Parkland. A whole lot of things, that this building for nurses and all that, and a whole lot go to Park Lane. Park Lane is sufficiently being handled. So Park Lane is not lacking anything. Whatever that is needed in Park Lane is provided. Now, there is new Enugu International Hospital. You know, I didn't even talk about ICC Hospital that is almost being completed. That one is a 5-star hotel that's ongoing. And you know that it's going to create a lot of jobs. And then it's in line with the Enugu A stuff, so that by the time it's a multimodal transport system that somehow align with hospitality. You see the chain, the value chain effect. You understand, from land terminals, transport terminals. Then, if you want to lodge, you have a hotel to stay and all that. The Enugu International Hospital is more like making Enugu a medical hub in Africa, so that there will be no reason for medical tourism anymore. You know, when people get sick, they run to India, they run to my daughter had heart issue, which of course the governor sponsored. The governor bankrolled it, as he has been bankrolling others. There are so many people that have medical issues that the governor is handling without even handling with his own personal fund. It's not even from Enugu State. My daughter had heart problem. She was born, she had a heart issue. You understand? And the doctor told me that they cannot be done here. So immediately, we went to Fortis Hospital, Fortis Escorts at India, where the operation was done, and then the child is Helen Hattie. Yes. Okay. There are so many other people, like one of the victims of tanker explosion at 9th Mile. But by the time they brought that woman, she was bleeding all over the place. And I was the one that met the woman. And I said, okay, I will tell His Excellency. And I told the governor about it. The governor released 2 million naira immediately for her treatment. And after all, bought for her even the machine with which she's learning to work and all that. Bankrolled all that. There are so many other ones he's doing with his own problem, because he's a compassionate person. Now, the Enugu International Hospital now will begin, because you don't need to travel abroad anymore. You understand? Like me, that we went to India. We don't have to go to India anymore, because all these cases, cardiological, oncology, whatever issue, will be treated here. It is more like what you are looking in Sokoto. In Sokoto is in Yashokoto. All those things will be handled here. That's what he's doing
here in Enugu State.
Yes, the opposite Rangers Avenue.
Okay.
If you have try and get in there, it's not just say try and go in there and go and see for yourself the kind of gadgets that are installed there. Go there and see for yourself. So and he's also in agreement with some of our diaspora brothers, medical doctors abroad, and they are going to come home. They are going to come home so that those things that will have to take you to India, take you to UK or US, you go and treat them here.
All right, Doc.
Now, look at the primary health care we are talking about. That is the one you see, the type 2 hospital, primary health care. And that primary health care, there is the introduction of telemedics there. So that it's more like a unitary stuff. So that if you are sick and your record is in perhaps let's say above, and you came to Enugu, you can easily dash in. Your medical record can easily be called up through telemedics and you'll be attended to. There's going to be a resident doctor at that place with other health workers in all the wards. The idea is to make health care available to all of our people because health is wealth. People die because they don't have easy access to health care. That's why they die. Somebody in my village now, if the person is sick, they will not go to the hospital. They will not go to hospital. Why? They will first of all patronize chemist. Ishinawam. It might be a serious issue, but you don't have a symptom. Ishinaware. Do you understand? But if you go to the hospital, they will be able to test you, take your vitals, and be able to know at least at that point what is happening to you, and give you. But my place is that nobody goes to hospital because it is not available until when the thing is worse. They will now go to Nsukka and say, I know the nonsense or can get Chukwudi. And when it is worse, they will also get do you understand? So these are the things we are crushing. What that thing you need there to you are giving it to you. Understand? Look at women. Some of them here there is a hospital in the village for you to access.
All right, Doc, before I call for the video, where there are a few individuals who are testifying to what you're saying, I want to bring this to your notice, and that is while I commend the efforts when you've spoken eloquently about this turning Enugu to a medical hub.
Yes.
I want to bring your attention to something.
Okay.
The opposition or some analysts, I always accuse your government of being IGR motivated. And I want to ask, given these hospitals turning Enugu State to a medical hub, is it geared towards more internally generated revenue? Can the masses, the poor masses, afford those hospitals?
Yes, that is the idea. The idea is affordability of health care. That is the idea. The idea, what we take you, when we went to India, how much did we spend? We spent over 30 million, which is Excellency Back Road. Where could I have gotten that money? But he bankrolled it. Now, if it is treated locally, even the cost of, look at the cost of even getting visa. Getting Indian visa, spend over 4 million to get in Indian visa. Do you understand? And then the cost of passports and all that traveling, all those two ones will be shared. And you will get it at a cheaper rate. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So it is not, we are talking about IGR. What IGR? Look, if you look at the Enugu State budget, we are looking for 870 million. We worked out with mathematical precision 300 billion from the university alone. What about ICC? What about government? Meanwhile, these funds are also being 70 million the treasury of Enugu State. When this kind of a thing is unleashed in Enugu State, what do you think? There will be a lot of viable businesses and all that. They will try.
It's hard to
Every second, the world changes, markets rise, leaders speak, stories unfold. To keep up, you don't just need news, you need clarity, you need speed, you need perspective.
That's why Aneke TV brings you the global pulse. Accurate, reliable, right when it matters most. Aneke TV. Move with the world. Morning headlines before you step out. Midday updates while you work. Evening analysis when the day winds down. Wherever life takes you, Aneke TV keeps you informed, connected, and ahead. Aneke TV. Move with the world.
Every second, the world changes, markets rise, leaders speak, stories unfold. To keep up, you don't just need news, you need clarity, you need speed, you need perspective.
That's why Aneke TV brings you the global pulse. Accurate, reliable, right when it matters most. Aneke TV. Move with the world.